Good morning and welcome to the Kia Oval on a beautiful Sunday morning for this double header. It's family day here in South London. Surrey women are about to take on Somerset, and on that news we have news from the middle, but before then, no, the other way around. Sam downstairs was chatting to Bryony Smith, but before that we've got news from the toss.
30 minutes to go until the start of today's first match, which means, of course, it is time for the toss. Out here in the middle, we have the umpires, James Treadwell and Gabby Brown, our match referee, Alex Swan. We've got the two captains, of course. All the way from Somerset, we have Neve, and of course, from Surrey, we have Bryony. And two very special guests, as always. We have got two Surrey members who have made it out into the middle to help us with the toss. Over here is Arthur. And over here is Ellen. Ellen has the great honour of tossing the coin. Are we ready? Okay, and Neve is going to call. Heads. Heads is the call. That is a heads. So Neve, come and have a chat with me. Great job, Ellen. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the day. Neve, welcome to the Kia Oval. Tell us what you're going to do.
We're going to bowl first.
Somerset winning the toss and having a bowl. What is your thinking behind that?
I think we back ourselves to chase here. And we're going to try and defend it too. Chase.
Perfect. And obviously, not the season you wanted, but a first season as a team together. It feels like things have improved through the tournament. Get some really tight games which could have gone either way. A win here today against the table toppers would be a big statement for you guys.
Yeah, I think a win here will be brilliant. We know we've not been at our best, but there's so many positives that we can take from the season and hope to take those into the 50 overs as well.
And finally, for Surrey fans who might not have seen a huge amount of you guys in action, who are the players we should be looking out for?
Oh, I think Fran Wilson for definite. She's been doing it for a number of years now. She's a class player.
There you go, one to watch. Thank you so much for your time, Neve. Brian, if I invite you in here, you've lost the toss. What would you have been doing?
I think we were looking to have a bowl, but actually, we've played a lot of cricket here, and getting a good big score on the board is something we're happy to do.
Obviously, spirits high in the camp, having secured your place at that finals day right here at the Kia Oval, but job not done.
No, definitely. We're going to keep pushing. We want to get straight through to that final. We're not going to take our foot off the gas at all, and we're looking to put on another good performance today.
End of the England T20 series means maybe a bit of availability?
So we've got Alice Capsey back today, and we've lost Alice Davison-Richards, so straight swap.
Lovely stuff. Go well today. Thank you very much, Bryony. So there we go. The news from the middle ahead of our 11 a.m. start is that the visitors, Somerset, have won the toss. They're going to have a bowl. I'm here with the Surrey women captain, Bryony Smith, who of course will be pretty happy having qualified for finals day right here at Kia Oval later this month. How does that feel, Bryony, having achieved mission one, I guess?
Yeah, we're really excited as a group. We obviously had a really good start to the comp, but for us we're still going. We want to finish that top spot and get straight through to the final. So we're not going to take our foot off the gas at all, and we're going to keep pushing.
How fun has it been this first season as a professional Surrey women's side? It looks like you guys have had a great time.
Yeah, we always have fun. We're a really tight group, so whenever we get out there together, we enjoy it, and especially being here as well with the double headers, we've had a great time and we've felt really welcome as the club by the fans and by everyone here. So it's been a brilliant start for us.
Beyond the obvious, what have been the big changes, differences from the regional era?
I think just the backing of the clubs. We obviously, when we were split between two counties, you're not quite sure who's looking after you. But Surrey have been amazing, not just this summer, but throughout the whole winter as well. And we're looking forward to what's next and what's going to come next.
Look at some of the other counties that kind of came out of the regional game. They had a bit of mixing and matching, whereas actually things have stayed remarkably stable for you guys. Has that been a big factor in your success?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously had 4 years as stars, again as a pretty similar group. I think we only added one this winter. So that's something we pride ourselves on, is how close we are and how much we support each other, and that's definitely helped us throughout the summer.
It's felt like all the players have had a really clear idea of what their roles are in the team. Sometimes those have had to shift with players going away and coming back, but you look at particularly the bowlers, the way the stages they're bowling in innings, things like that. As a captain, is that a big part of your messaging?
Yeah, we have lots of chats, not just through before the games, but we have had throughout the whole winter of what everyone's role is and how, you look at our batting order and it's very rarely the same every game. So everyone's got what they need to do, and our ability to be flexible is fantastic and something that definitely stands us apart from the other teams.
Looking ahead to this morning's game against bottom of the table Somerset, I guess that counts for nothing. Each game is different, as we know, in T20, but a really good chance to get another win and almost, I think, secure that home or secure that final, straight into the final berth right here at the Kia Oval. First of all, how special would that be?
Yeah, that would be amazing. It's something that as soon as it got announced that the finals would be here, I think everyone in the change room was like, right, we've got to get there now. It's at our home ground. And yeah, it would be special to get straight through to the final, but we know that whoever we come up against, even if they're bottom of the table, they've got some match-winning players, so we're not going to take anything for granted and we're going to keep playing our way.
Finally, what should Surrey fans here today expect from Somerset? What are you guys expecting from Somerset?
They're going to come at us. They obviously have had a bit of a tough tournament, but we've seen in the 50 over comp they can win games, and they've got some players out there who can take the game away from us. So yeah, it'll be exciting, lots of big hitting, I think, and we're looking forward to it.
Bryony Smith there with our colleague Sam Keir. I'm Cameron Ponsonby. I'm joined by Kirstie White here in the commentary box for the first of this Surrey versus Somerset double header. It's family day down here at the Kia Oval, so we're expecting lots of, families in over the course of the afternoon. Today, starting us off, we have the women, and it's a top versus bottom clash in the Vitality Blast. Surrey already secured their spot in finals day, which is 2 weeks here today. Make sure you get yourself down for that, the Sunday the 27th of July. There's going to be two games, second versus third, as they play off in what's effectively a semi-final, and then the final itself. And Surrey will be hoping to secure a direct qualification for that final. They're top of the table, 9 wins from 11, 1 tie, 1 defeat, and Somerset, their opponents today, just 1 win from 11. Kirstie, we have one change for the Surrey side today, and she's on your screen right now. Alice Capsey on the right-hand side. What can we expect to see from her today?
It's another change in an opening pair. I don't think Surrey have really consistently used the same opening pair throughout the competition, but I think it's an exciting opportunity for Capsey to open the batting today. Having obviously been left out of that England squad yesterday, she's kind of got a bit of a free licence to come in and express herself. Pressure's off a little bit. I'm sure she'll be wanting to start positively. She loves playing here at the Oval, in front of a home ground. Doesn't get the opportunity to open the batting too much, so I'm sure she'll just be relishing that and enjoying the sunshine and the home crowd.
So she comes in for Alice Davidson-Richards, which is the one change for the home team. Team news for the away team for Somerset. Very exciting both for Somerset and for England cricket. Danny Gibson is back in the team. It's her first match, in just exactly 4 months. She last played in the WPL way back in March. She's had some problems with injuries, so it'd be very good to see her back out on the field. And Somerset are leading both teams out. We've got a guard of honour in place there, as always. Just as a reminder, Somerset won the toss and they elected to bowl. And I'll tell you what, those pyrotechnics, I reckon, are going to be doubly warm on what is, of course, a scorching hot day here in South London.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how Somerset approach this attack. Obviously, their bowling lineup potentially boosted by Gibson. It'll be interesting to see if she does bowl today. Doesn't look like she's going to be taking the new ball for the first over, but yeah, really strengthens their attack here for them. Bat and ball, really powerful all-rounder Danny Gibson. It's nice to see her back in Somerset colours, for sure.
Well, these two teams played out a remarkable fixture on the opening day of this season down at Beckenham. Me and Kirstie were there. It was quite a traumatic day for Surrey fans and former players alike. Amanda Jade Wellington scored, I think it was 6 boundaries in a row to lift her team from the brink of defeat, or not even the brink of defeat, from certain defeat to an unlikely victory. So they've got history, this pair. We're going to have a bit of a left arm spin to open proceedings. It looks like it's Olivia Barnes. I'll just confirm that when she turns around. Believe it. It is Olivia Barnes. And she starts with a dot ball.
Yeah, nice tight lines to start with. Yeah, that first game of the season down at Beckenham, albeit the 50 over competition, on paper, it's my biggest nemesis at the moment, actually. I've got a real bugbear about saying about teams on paper, but Surrey the strongest on the day by far. False start there from Olivia Barnes. Surrey on paper by far, you'd have put your house on them taking the win that day.
Lovely start by Barnes, dropping that ball onto a length. Just twice a single for Bryony Smith to start. We're off. Happy birthday to Olivia Barnes, by the way. 4 days ago, turned 19.
Oh, many happy returns. 19. Goodness me.
So Alice Capsey to take strike. Big sweep to begin with. That beats the ring. It shouldn't go all the way to the boundary. In fact, it's cut off. So he is able to get back for 2. Now, Somerset have had a very tough season this year in the Blast. Rock bottom of the table. Just the 1 win from their 11 matches. They're obviously missing Heather Knight for the entirety of the season. Former England captain injured herself very early on this year. It's a full toss and there should be 1 run out to that sweeper at deep mid-wicket. Also Charlie Dean, their other kind of main international English player, away on England duty often. They've kind of been stretched a little bit. Amanda Jade Wellington, international superstar, hasn't quite fired the way they would have hoped. Another sweep. That's well fielded at square leg.
Yeah, nice to see these 2 batters confidently sweeping early on. Sometimes with the new ball, it can just slide on and either beat the bat and wrap you on the front pad, but confident here.
This time, Bryony Smith shuffles onto the back foot and pulls that ball out to deep mid-wicket. A lot of sedate action to get us underway today. 5 runs off the first over. No boundaries, but proactive batting from both Bryony Smith and Alice Capsey. Keep an eye out for Molly Robbins today. She performed very well for Somerset this year. 12 wickets in the Blast, an average of 18. She's been their kind of standout performer so far.
Yeah, very inexperienced team. I was watching the Somerset game on Wednesday, and I believe, and I can't remember the stat, I might have to go back and revisit, but there aren't, I think, apart from Amanda Jade Wellington and maybe Danny Gibson and Sophie Luff, everyone else is under the age of 22 in this team. So not having their captain Sophie Luff and Heather Knight, there's a big lack of experience in this team.
Well, here is Molly Robbins. She'll open the bowling from the pavilion end. And that's helped over the top. Behind square on the leg side, and Bryony Smith has her first boundary of the afternoon.
She's picked that up so nicely. Just maybe dragged her length a little bit too short to start. She hasn't missed it by much, but Bryony Smith loves anything straight in and around that front knee. Does really well to lift that over short fine leg. Keeper up to the stumps. 2 sweepers. We've got a deep mid-wicket and a very square cover.
Driven back down the ground. Does that beat mid-off? Yes. And that'll be 4 more for Bryony Smith. So a boundary behind square on the leg side, follows it up with a straight drive. I guess that's just Robbins potentially looking to overcorrect, make sure she slipped down the leg side on a second occasion. Overpitched, Bryony Smith helps herself.
Yeah, that was a really lovely follow-up delivery from Bryony Smith, just rocking back on the first one and leaning forward into the second. What have we got for the third?
Pulled this time out to deep mid-wicket. It will just be 1 run.
It's an interesting field that Robbins has got here to start. So, yeah, she's got a deep, I'd say it's almost a deep extra cover, but not really. They're probably, I said square, actually, they're very straight. For Capsey, they've now come round to a deep square. So I don't like fields like this with an opening bowler.
Dot ball up to mid-off. So what, in your head, what is the problem with this field if you are an opening bowler?
the message it sends to me is that the bowler's not confident in the line or the length that they're going to bowl, and therefore they're seeking protection on either side of the wicket. So traditionally, you'd probably see a deep backward square and maybe a third man out on the boundary, third out on the boundary. Driven really nicely from Capsey. Seems to be coming on really well off this deck as well. Used deck. So yeah, maybe she's just looking for a little bit of protection. You can forgive her. She's got Bryony Smith, one of the most powerful hitters in the country, and Alice Capsey as well, who on her day can tear bowling attacks apart. But almost feels a little bit too defensive starting within the power play.
That'll be 4 more. Picked up just short of a length from Alice Capsey. She powers that through mid-wicket. She has her first boundary as well. And a good over for Surrey, 13 runs off it. And they're off to a flyer here at the Kia Oval. This is exactly what former Surrey player Kirstie White was referring to, in that runs leaking on both sides of the wicket. So not the tightest of starts from Molly Robbins, who's had a fantastic season so far with ball in hand for Somerset. Let's see if Olivia Barnes is going to continue. Looks like we're going to have a change from the Vauxhall end. We're now going to have some right arm off spin. I believe it's
Chloe Skelton, by the looks of it.
Chloe Skelton into the attack. It's been a very trendy tactic this year in the blast of the maximum number of bowling changes possible. It's a lovely shot from Bryony Smith, just giving herself room. It's well fielded in the covers. Good hand down to the right. They think about 2. But 4 is saved. Alice.
Sorry, Cam. I said there's a good number of people in the crowd already, actually, sitting in the sun while it's not too hot. I wonder how long they'll manage to stay out there.
Down the track, Capsey, not the cleanest of contacts, gets 1 out to deep mid-wicket. So this is Capsey's 3rd match in the blast this year for Surrey. Hasn't quite fired so far. It's a sweep from Bryony Smith, and that will be 4. We've seen them go to that shot a lot already this innings, and this time, for the first time, Smith gets full reward.
Yeah. So, sorry, Cam, I keep interrupting you. We pause and then we both go to speak at the same time. Yeah, I think this has been quite a profitable area, actually. The sweep, that it looks very almost premeditated. If there's anything in and around that area, we're going to sweep. There's no square.
Well, that's a good dot ball for Somerset, because that was short and a bit too straight from Skelton. Smith pulls directly to the fielder at square leg.
Yeah, no square leg out. Okay. I stand corrected. Square leg has now gone out. Long on has come up into the ring, and mid-wicket is just sitting on the ring as well.
And immediately, Bryony Smith takes the opportunity, and it's well held in the deep. An excellent catch. And Somerset are on the board. They had just changed that fielder to encourage Bryony Smith to hit down the ground.
Yeah, that's a really fantastic catch there. Coming round to the left, picks that up quickly, covers some good ground, and then takes it low, diving, arms out in front, manages to hold the ball as well. Just trying to work out who the fielder was, actually. Can't quite see from that angle. It's not been announced on the score yet, so bear with. We'll see if we can get it from this angle.
Well, it's very fine captaincy as well as catching from Somerset. It's a brilliant catch, diving forward. I believe that's Alex Griffiths. Just got the slightest glimpse of a number 25.
Yeah, Alex Griffiths, you're right. It's the blonde hair as well. Yeah, that is Alex Griffiths.
Smith had been looking to sweep. Both Surrey's batters have been very comfortable on the sweep. Then by dropping out deep square leg and bringing up long on, forced Bryony Smith, or gave Bryony Smith the option to try and hit the ball straight. She gave it a go. She just dragged it slightly wide, and Griffiths there at deep mid-wicket, sprinting round, diving forward. It's a very difficult and technical catch to complete. But she's got Somerset on the board, and Kira Chatley is now in for Surrey.
Yeah, she just doesn't quite get hold of it, does she? Doesn't get all of it If she does, that's probably ending up in the stands. But yeah, unfortunately, she's not managed to get it over long on, which is, I think, where she'd intended. Got a bit cramped.
Well, Beeson on the outside edge. Chatley to begin with. And so, the end of the third over, the score is 24 for 1. You're listening to the Surrey live stream and watching it for that matter. I'm Cameron Ponsonby. I'm joined by former Surrey cricketer Kirstie White. Now, I believe we're going to have another bowling change, and I'd expect nothing less. Be Aaron Vukic to come into the attack. Vukic, I believe, along with her brother, have kind of been making their waves in the professional game this year. She, of course, I know everyone at home knows this, she, of course, also plays cricket for Croatia.
Oh, I didn't know that, Cam.
There we go. It's a wonderful start. I just think it must be the most fun to be growing up in England with a passport from somewhere else and to be able to get a tap on the shoulder and say, do you want to play some international cricket?
Yeah, it's the dream, isn't it?
Well, she dismissed Elise Perry not too long ago. So Vukic in to Alice Capsey. I'll tell you what, it wasn't the best ball. It wasn't the best shot. It wasn't the best piece of fielding, but it ends up being 4 runs. It just splits through the hands of short fine leg, and it almost was a catching opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's just bounced actually just in front of Molly Robbins. Yeah, made it really difficult to gather. Unfortunately for Capsey, she has a bit of a let-off and picks up 4 runs in the making as well. This is an excellent start to the power play for Surrey. Just going at almost 9 and over at the moment.
Clipped and just wide of mid-wicket. For a moment, I thought Capsey was in danger. Chatley comes back for 2. Had a very fine season, Vukic. She kind of got her opportunity earlier on in the competition during the T20 County Cup. She scored. It's just out to deep square leg. Momentarily lost it, but it's 1 run.
Kira Chatley opting for the short sleeve today. Keeps in the long sleeve, obviously. Or is it obvious? Depends who you are.
Well, I enjoyed Laurie Evans keeping for the men's teams recently in short sleeves.
No, this is a cricketing ick, I'm afraid. I cannot cope.
It was absolutely a kind of social faux pas in both the amateur and the professional game. On the biggest stage, I almost found it endearing. To be at the Kia Oval in front of 20,000 people, and he'll know. He knows it's not allowed.
100%, yeah. Do you think it's just a case of he actually doesn't really play in a short sleeve, long sleeve, and doesn't need one?
Chatley goes for the ramp and is bowled, and Vukic has a wicket. Short third was in the circle. Chatley tried to capitalise, and Surrey are 2 down.
Not quite sure what the decision was there for Kira Chatley. It was only the 3rd ball that she's faced. Excuse me. And, you know, they've gone for, 7 off the over already. It was unforced error, really, on her part. No need for that shot at all. Shaking her head as she walks off, probably a little bit disappointed. Felt that it was on, it probably was. She's just missed it completely. She's almost gone for the reverse ramp, actually. She's tried to take that over 3rd. I think if she'd maybe got in line and got her head up and under the ball, she probably would have made contact, but as she's kept it out of her eye line, she's missed the ball and it's taken the stumps. Does bring one of our favourites to the crease though, Cam. You look happy to see Grace Harris.
Always happy to see Grace Harris. She's been phenomenal with bat and ball in hand this season. Vukic almost was looking disbelieving when she did dismiss Chatley. The surprise on her face, and I do wonder, because often when you're playing those ramp shots, there's a certain element of relying on the bowler to hit their spot. And that occasion, Vukovic did. Earlier on in the over, we'd seen her slip down the leg side, and whether Charlie could have taken on a different option. Smart delivery to begin with from Vukovic, and Harris tucks that into the leg side for a single. 4 overs gone here at the Kia Oval, and the score is 32 for 2.
Yeah, really nice opportunity. We haven't seen Grace Harris this early in any of Surrey's innings. So obviously she's the big hitter. Sometimes I think Johan Meyerberg likes to hold her back, so she's in a really strong position to be able to come in and just play the way that she plays. But actually, if she's your franchise player, give her the most balls, see how many she can score. This could be an exciting pair to watch, though.
2 superstars of the international game batting here in South London. Olivia Barnes comes back into the attack. She bowled the opening over of this innings. She's now coming up against Grace Harris as well as Alice Capsey. Harris just leans on the simplest of singles up to long on.
The boundaries are very short straight today. They're quite long square, almost the full width of the training wickets both sides, but very short straight.
Down the track, lifted over mid-off, and that's glorious from Alice Capsey. 1 bounce over the rope. She takes the aggressive option against Barnes, and she wins on this occasion.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when I saw how short those boundaries were. Could be a lot of 4s and 6s scored through those zones today.
Well, Surrey's boundary size has been a favourite topic of ours across the season. That's cut, and that's 4 more. Just lost her length there, Barnes. Capsey capitalised.
She's absolutely carved that with pinpoint precision through point and cover there. Both just turn and look at each other, almost as if to say yours. And by the time they've made that decision, it's pretty much at the boundary. Those training wickets well used, lots of sunshine and dry weather, meaning that just races across the square there. Back-to-back boundaries for Alice Capsey.
This time a sweep. A long way outside off. I wonder if it was a bit premeditated from Capsey, and Griffiths does the fielding in the deep. I often wonder, you'll be able to either laugh at me or tell me if I'm correct in this. I'm always slightly surprised by the idea that the batters are actually deliberately hitting it in a gap. I feel like they're just hitting it. That's what I try and do.
What do you mean?
There's so many fielders there.
Okay, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
When you bat,
Yeah.
where do you look? Do you look at the fielders? So when you've taken your guard, you're having a little skim around. Do you look at, right, I've got a point, I've got a cover, I've got extra cover, long on, long off.
What you're about to do to me here?
Yeah. I'm setting you up. So tell me the answer after this ball.
Well, quick single taken to square leg. Appeal? I'm surprised Somerset weren't more excited by that, because I thought Grace Harris or Alice Capsey, more to the point, was in a lot of trouble there. 5 overs gone, 43 for 2. We can hopefully grab a replay of that just to see how close that was. So I'll give you the answer you want.
Oh, go on then.
I'm looking at the fielders.
That's not the answer that I want.
Exactly, no, but it's what you want.
Okay, right, that's what, yeah. Well, so these batters will not be looking at where the fielders are, because if you're visualising where the fielders are, then that's naturally where you're going to want to lean and hit the ball. Whereas if you're looking at the gaps, you're more likely to then just think, right, my gap's there, so that's where I'm hitting the ball.
But I think that's the subconscious taking over. When someone goes, oh, that's a great placement from Joe Root, as he sneaks it between backward point and super backward point. Okay, that surely is an element of luck there. Anyway, I'm Cameron Ponsonby. I averaged 12. Heave down the ground. Grace Harris already looks in the mood here at the Kia Oval. She moves on to 7.
Yeah, she does look in the mood, doesn't she? That fist bump, she means business, Cam. Look at this fist bump after.
I wonder if it just stays in shot. Not quite.
Right.
But Molly Robbins, Somerset's star bowler of the competition. Surrey have taken a liking to her. 17 runs conceded off her first 7 balls. And there wasn't too much wrong with that one. Grace Harris just decided to get a little bit ugly.
She's got the muscles. Just as well use them. They're not there for show. She's not a bodybuilder.
Did while we wait. We were talking about Laurie Evans' wicket keeping earlier on today. We'll wait to see if he's fit to play the men's fixture later on this afternoon. Take another single to deep square leg in the ring, beg your pardon. Even there was just an element of aggression from Grace Harris, who signals down to Alice Capsey. That was a cutter, a slower delivery.
Yeah, the single that they took to square leg, the last ball of the last over, I actually think it was a very good single. I'll tell you why after this delivery. So it looked close, but actually, as that's come off the bat and it's been turned around the corner, I can't remember who called the single through, but square leg has got to run around to their left, and they're a right-handed thrower. So the batters know that actually if they're going to throw at the danger end, they've still got to pick the ball up, rearrange their feet, get into a good position, and then throw to the keeper to be able to take and break the stumps.
That's short and wide and 4. Robbins is struggling a little bit here. One time hit down the ground, this time cut for a wide delivery. Harris is into double figures, and Surrey, well, they've brought up their 50. They're 53 for 2. And we're still in the power play.
Yeah, short and wide and outside off stump. Thank you very much.
So how is Robbins going to come back from this? We're still in the power play. 2 balls remaining before Somerset can put 2 more fielders on the boundary. A bit of a mix-up in the middle. A fumble at square leg. Harris contemplated running on the misfield, but Capsey had already turned back by that point. So a much-needed dot ball for Robbins. She'll be desperate to try and just sneak one more dot ball into this over and limit the damage. Appeal for LBW and given. Harris has to go, and the perfect comeback for Robbins. She's conceded 23 runs from her first 11 deliveries, but with her 12th, she strikes and she gets the big, big wicket of Grace Harris.
Yeah, it looks like it's kept a bit low there, but we're almost directly behind the bowler's arm here, and my finger went up straight away, but let's have a better look from this angle. Oh, Harris looking like maybe it was sliding, doesn't feel particularly happy, but it was not a great shot in the first place. She's got a bit confused to go forward, to go backwards, stuck on the crease.
She has been getting that shape away from the right-hander, Molly Robbins. And so, with that ball just looking to set off down the leg side, Harris is looking to turn it around the corner, but it straightens on the line and on the angle. I can tell you what, our director Jake's given it not out, but the decision that counts is out in the middle. Our fingers were up, Kirstie.
Yeah, sometimes it's best not to watch the replay. Yeah, but I mean, I'm stood on. If we're looking, I'm standing from the Vauxhall end. I'm on the second wicket over. It looked good from here. That's, I don't know if that counts for anything. Well, it obviously doesn't, really, does it?
Well, it is a big wicket in the context of this match, because Grace Harris is a very important player. And not only is she an important player, it's an important moment where it means a new batter is at the crease for the introduction of this bowler here on your screens now. Amanda Jade Wellington. We're at the power play. She has 4 fielders on the boundary. Some leg spin up against Alice Capsey. A turn early on. This is a used wicket. It was used by the men on Thursday night, Friday night even. And granted, we did see 460 runs. Just having a little chat between the pair. We see this replay. Big turn from Wellington. Brings Monaghan on strike. But a difficult game a couple of days ago against the Blaze. So she'll be looking to bounce back here. Powerful batter, using all different types of positions by Surrey. She defends that off the back foot.
Yeah, that first delivery from Wellington, it was almost a bit of a feeler, wasn't it? She gave it a little bit of flight, not too much pace. Just want to land it and see what it does. Now she's got a bit of an idea of what the pitch is going to offer. I think we'll see her go through the gears here.
Monaghan goes for some innovation early. Paddles it over the head of the wicketkeeper. She will get 2 runs.
Yes, there's plenty of depth in this batting lineup still to come. So you've still got Emma Jones, who's been in excellent form with the bat, Phoebe Franklin, Callie Moore.
That's an extraordinary piece of cricket. It was a wide ball that spanned even wider from Wellington. Monaghan decided she really wanted to hit it, so reached a long way and just bunted it into the offside. For a second, I thought she might have just lollipopped a catch to backward point. She gets 1 run. Again, this is really slow, bouncy turn from Wellington.
Yeah, turn and bounce. The combination that every batter doesn't particularly like. Say every batter, some do. But the hardest combination of spin to play.
It's a beautiful delivery from Wellington to finish. Her first over goes for just 4 runs. After 7 overs, the score is 57 for 3. You're watching and listening to the Surrey live stream with me, Cameron Ponsonby, and former Surrey cricketer, Kirstie White. We're just going to have a little look at the highlights of the power play. A few boundaries to begin with for Surrey. Bryony Smith was looking in good touch, driving down the ground against Robbins. But then the wickets began to fall. Not quite yet, that was another sweep from Bryony Smith. But here, after a field change, Bryony Smith picked out Alex Griffiths, who took an excellent catch in the deep to get Somerset on the board. Wickets started with a loose delivery, but then when Kira Chatley went for the reverse ramp, she lost her off stump. And whenever Surrey have just looked like they've been getting ahead, things like that happen. A wicket falls, and Robbins, who's been so good this season for Somerset, she takes her first wicket of the afternoon. Alex Griffiths comes into the attack after that sensational catch, is the word I'm going to use. I'm going to have a bowl. We've not seen Danny Gibson yet, which suggests she'll be playing as a batter only. Well, starts with 5 wides, and that's a real gift for Surrey. 5 runs scored, no balls used, and a difficult start for Griffiths.
Yeah, it's one thing I did notice in the power play was that even with the seam in place, the early overs, the keeper chose to stand up to the stumps, which indicates they want to keep the batters in the crease as well. So standing up to the stumps again here, which is probably what they do in these middle overs, just to restrict that forward movement.
Driven from Monaghan. And that finds the gap between cover and mid-off and will race all the way to the boundary. Beautiful shot from Surrey's number 5. And a tough start for Griffiths. 1 legal delivery bowled, 9 runs scored.
Yeah, really nice shot there from Griffiths. Probably argue that actually between mid-off and extra cover, they could probably take a step just to tighten that angle. They've got the protection of cover, so to leak a boundary through that very tight gap, I don't think Alex Griffiths will be particularly happy there.
Well, that sneaks through. Hands on head from Griffiths.
I'm interested with the approach that Somerset have with the ball here. So the last few deliveries that have been gathered by the keeper, that have been gathered by the keeper has rolled back to the bowler or to the fielders.
Just keep an eye out for this here. Well, there we go, more conventional.
Back up in the air now, yeah. So I was just wondering if the umpires were going to have a word, because a softer ball obviously makes it harder to get to the boundary. Now, the outfield is probably one of the lushest in the country at the moment. Groundsman Lee will be keeping it well watered, but still, Surrey want that ball as hard as possible.
Edged just over the top of Odgers behind the stumps. I wonder if that's hit the keeper. Something else to keep an eye on here. Alice Capsey has hardly done any batting. Been 7.4 overs bowled, 46 balls sent down by Somerset so far, and Capsey, who opened the batting, has faced 16 of them. So it'll be in Surrey's interest to get an England player on strike. Just clipped up. It's deep mid-wicket for 1.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, actually. She'll probably be twitching a little bit at the other end, just wanting to face a few more deliveries, and that can really impact someone's flow. So some people, if they're left standing at the non-striker's end, can lose a little bit of their rhythm. So
she's got 1 ball here against Griffiths. She might be interested in just taking a single to get herself back on strike for the next over. That's exactly what she does. She clips one down the ground for 1, and Griffiths will be very pleased with that as a recovery. She went for 9 runs off her first legal delivery, but the over goes for just 11. So potentially a bit of a missed opportunity from Surrey there. 8 overs gone, the score is 68 for 3.
yeah, strike now for Alice Capsey. Looks like another change of bowling potentially. Might be Chloe Skelton returning from Vauxhall End.
How would you have looked to use Wellington if you were Somerset? Because she was such a threatening first over where the turn, it was slow, but it was bouncing and it was quite extreme the amount of spin she was getting. Is that the type of player you want to be dotting throughout the innings, or would you have been tempted to plug her in for 4 overs in a row?
I think I'd have given her another. She's going to take wickets, so it's, you know, you don't want to hold her back for too long, but you also want to restrict the run rate.
Skelton into Capsey's down the ground. Think about 1, decide against it.
So yeah, I do think I'd have given Wellington 1 more. She did have a very good over. Give something for the batters to think about, put a bit of pressure on them, and then think, okay, well, I'll see this bowler off at this end, but they'll have to score from the opposite end.
Another big sweep, appeal and given. Capsey doesn't look pleased, but she's going to have to go. A really good catch behind the stumps. Surrey are now 4 down, and Capsey gives a glare back to the umpire.
Oh yeah, if looks could kill. Capsey doesn't look happy with that, and I get the impression if reviews were available that she might have taken one there. Not quite sure what that's hit or not hit, but Capsey's walking back to the pavilion.
Well, regardless of what happened, it's an excellent piece of wicket keeping. There's a little technical issue there. We will get that replay for you. Capsey has gone for the sweep outside the off stump. There's a mess of limbs, bats, gloves, dust. And Odgers has kept her cool and snaffled a really good and important catch. So Chloe Skelton makes a breakthrough. She has her 2nd wicket of the innings. We'll see if this plays through. Appeal is just a potential bottom edge.
Well, the interesting thing is both batter and wicketkeeper appeal there. So unless that's flicked the back of the thigh pad on the way through, but it looked a little bit too far outside the off stump. The other thing is, unless her gloves, the Velcro of the gloves have made a little bit of a noise as the ball's passed the bat, who knows? But it does bring Emma Jones to the crease.
Jones has been in good form of the bat this year. Oh, she clips that towards mid-wicket, and her heart would have been in her mouth for a second. I do think if the one thing the kind of use of DRS has proved to us is batters do not know when they've hit it. It used to be a case of you always know. So as aghast as Capsey may be, decision was made in Somerset. Well, Surrey's run rate is pretty healthy, up towards 8 and over. That wicket column for Somerset is equally healthy as well. This is a fantastic over from Skelton. We were here in the commentary box wondering whether Somerset had missed a trick by not keeping on Amanda Jade Wellington. 5 dots, including a wicket, and this has been a perfect over from Skelton so far. 6 out of 6. A maiden for Somerset, 68 for 4 after 9 overs. And is that a momentum and potentially match-changing over from the off-spinner?
Well bowled, Chloe Skelton. A wicket maiden. And you've dismissed Alice Capsey. And you just saw a little bit of an energy change as well. Energy shift there from the Somerset players. They recognised the opportunity to not only pick up a maiden, but a wicket maiden. Started buzzing around a little bit. There is an opportunity, I think, you're right here, Cam, but what we have seen from Surrey in the last 3 or 4 games is that they're great at finishing games. So it will potentially require a little bit of getting across the line here, but, you know, we're not even halfway through this innings. So 66 deliveries still to come. And Emma Jones and Alice Monaghan will be wanting to score at least 2 a ball here, I would imagine.
Well, change of ends for Wellington. There's our 4 fielders out scattered, 2 on either side. Deep mid wicket, long on, all the way around to deep cover. And that big bounce happens again. That's beaten point, and that's 4 runs. And that'll be frustrating for Wellington, but really well played by Monaghan. He's got on top of the bounce, kind of ridden that extra lift that the leg spinner's got. Being able to cut that away behind square.
Yeah, that's not only frustrating for Wellington just because of the fielding, but off the back of that last over, 6 dots in a row and the wicket, that's just released a little bit of pressure there.
It's bunted down to long on. That was a remarkable shot from Monaghan. We saw on the replay, it's almost been dropped onto a length. It wasn't short at all. She's managed to get way back in her crease.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tactic to leg spin. Actually, sometimes to just sit really deep in your crease and play as late as you can. Almost use the width and the depth of the crease to get on top of the bounce.
Jones looks to do the same. She's unable to get off strike and off the mark. She's 0 of 5. In a T20, this is just when the pressure starts to build on a batter. This time she gets one away. Well driven up to long off. Settle for 1. Noticed Emma Jones there, gripping the bat incredibly low on the handle.
Yeah, very low, and she grips the bat very hard as well. Usually, you know, you have a very strong top hand and the bottom hand just guides, but she holds the bat very, very tight in her hands, muscles the ball really hard.
Monaghan lifts one into the leg side, and it beats everyone. It's over the ropes. It's 6 runs. A really fantastic over for Surrey this. After the wicket maiden beforehand, it was a chance for Somerset to really take a hold of this match, but Monaghan hasn't allowed that to happen.
Yeah, she stayed perfectly still there. A little bit more flight on that delivery. Doesn't really need to do much, just plays it from the crease. Sends it over the ropes.
Play on a miss on this occasion. Finishes with a dot ball, but 12 runs off it for Surrey. They're 80 for 4 after 10. So what would the advantages be for a player like Emma Jones gripping the bat very low? We see some players, well, Sophia Dunkley used to have a very split grip. Some players go very low. I think Owen Morgan used to hold the bat right at the top. Is there any kind of preference? Or was it just personal preference?
I think it's just preference, but if you watch some of her sixes and the way she scores boundary, she hits the ball incredibly hard, but she hits it very flat. And I think having that real close together grip where she holds the bat quite low means that actually she hits the ball hard and flat as opposed to kind of up and under and gets the kind of trajectory that way.
Well, Olivia Barnes is going to return the attack from the Vauxhall end. Jones on strike. Drives up to long off again for another run. So Somerset continuing to chop and change their bowling attack. I think it might be the same again where we've not had a continuation of any one bowler. It's good batting from Monaghan. Well, very good batting. They're going to get 2 runs. She's timed that wonderfully well to the left of cover, and because she's hit it well, fielder out on the boundary just had to sprint round. And as Kirstie White mentioned earlier, the dimensions of this boundary are such that it's very large square, very short straight. Monaghan was just able to hit that pocket in that instance. Well,
oh no.
cricket is the loser there. Don't really know what's happened. They're only going to run 1. We wait for the umpire signal. It should be a buys. You know what, Kirstie? I'm going to pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think we need a replay of that one. Although I think it would be good to see on the big screen.
Goodness me. That's beautifully bowled.
It's a good change of pace there from Barnes. Actually, I think she just beats Jones for pace. She's played for a bit of turn as well. Fortunately for her, it's actually just gone over the top of her off stump.
It's down the leg side, but it strikes Jones on the pad. It's a good dot ball for Somerset there because Barnes would have been more if she's just lost the line there. She doesn't have any protection on the boundary behind square on the leg side. Jones has been playing that shot in particular very well. Another run to her and Surrey's total. The 11th over is finished. It's 85 for 4.
Yeah, so run rate just 7.73 at the moment, so 9 overs remaining, 54 balls. What do you think's par here, Cam? What do you think Surrey will be looking at?
Well, the wickets column is worrying me a little bit because I know they've got Callie Moore, Rhiannon McDonald-Gay,
Phoebe
Franklin,
Alexa Stonehouse.
They have 3 players, and Stonehouse, they have 3, if not 4 players of late who have contributed with lower order runs. So it's not a case of it's kind of 5 out, all outs for Surrey. You are just relying on those lower order players to be able to score at 10 runs and over to lift you up to a really challenging total. 160 is my
I think, yeah, I think they can win with 160. I think they could potentially defend 140, but it won't be an easy job if they take early wickets.
Alex Griffiths bowling from the pavilion end here. It's a swing and a miss from Jones. She's just struggling to find her tempo here. She's on 3 off 10.
Yeah, just steps away from the crease. I think she's probably just trying to have a little word with herself, work out how she wants to go about her batting. She's probably lunged a bit too early into that one.
That's hit down the ground. Will that beat the 2 fielders in the deep? No. Monaghan thinks about coming back for 2, but it's well fielded in the deep. So it's just the single that won't settle the nerves of Jones. He's on 4 of 12.
Yeah, this is a different Emma Jones, though, because Emma Jones of the past, if she'd faced that many deliveries, she would have probably got herself out by now. So she's definitely just saying to herself, if I can just get Alice on strike, if I can pick up a few ones, I know I can get settled and add some boundaries to that column.
That's a wonderful shot, but a crucial hand at cover. Takes off just enough pace to allow Long Off to be able to get round and keep it to 1. That's 3 runs saved by Somerset.
And I've been watching the ring fielders for Somerset. They are tight on the ones. They are really attacking the batters. They don't want Surrey to be able to pick up any easy singles. So that was a really crucial hand there from Niamh Holland at extra cover because that was 4 all day otherwise.
Jones gets that single down to Long Off again.
Boundaries are going to be important here, so if they want to get up to that 160 total, they're going to need to be picking up at least a boundary and over and then rotating from there.
would Surrey at all be more content aiming slightly lower, as it were, when they go? Would you take into account your opposition, or is that a negative thing to do? If you go Somerset, they've been struggling this year. There's no point in us shooting for the moon here and getting bowled out for 120. If we keep it ticking over, get to 140, 150. That's lifted up towards long on and over long on. 6 more for Monaghan. Her second maximum of her innings. She moves on to 28. And that was a much needed boundary for Surrey, who'd had 2 quiet overs up until that point. But Alice Monaghan, after a difficult match earlier on in the week, is playing a bit of a blinder here.
Yeah, really well struck that. Even the jump couldn't stop and prevent that from going for 6. No, I think you'd be silly to, consider what the other team are capable of runs-wise. Oh!
Well, that snuck through everyone. Will that reach the boundary? It's going to just be hauled in. Get back for 2. We wait for the umpire Gabby Brown. Signal byes given.
Yeah, I think you're dicing with death if you think, well, actually, if we score 120, they're not going to be able to do that. I think, and what I know about this team is that is definitely not the mindset that they'll have. They will be thinking, we are a team that is capable of scoring X amount of runs. On a wicket like this and a day like today, with the attack that we're facing in terms of seam, spin, so on and so forth, we will be happy with our own batting performance if we score 160 plus. It wouldn't be a case of, they'll never be able to chase that. That's definitely not the mindset they'll have at all. Because it's a game of 2 halves, as we know.
Jones just steps away there. Not quite ready. I think it might have actually been Somerset that weren't ready because they've changed their field ever so slightly. Mid-off is in the circle here for Jones. She's been playing a drive in that direction very well. She goes for it again, but this time hoiks the ball over to mid-wicket, over the ropes. 2 boundaries, 2 sixes in quick succession for Surrey. And Jones now, well, what's the problem? She was on 5 off 13, now she's on 11 off 14.
Yeah, very, very powerful. She's not got all of that still.
Big appeals in all directions there. Chloe Skelton, who'd gone for just 6 runs off her first 2 overs, back into the attack, goes for 6 more in just 1 delivery.
Quick hands here from Bex Odgers.
All lifted up over mid-off, targeting that area. 1 bounce, 2 and over the ropes. Emma Jones is away here. It's a sign of just how quickly things can change. She gave herself that extra time that Kirstie White was referring to. And she's prompting a field change here because deep cover point is now coming up into the ring and mid-off has dropped out. So will we see Jones looking to give herself space and trying to cut that ball through the offside because there's no fielders protecting that offside boundary anymore.
Yeah, bowl straight, Chloe Skelton.
Well, I think she's got away with that one there because she just lost the line outside off stump. But a swing and a miss from Jones.
Yeah, just a circle of the shoulders. Maybe have a little word with yourself, Emma Jones. You've picked up 10 off the last 2. This doesn't have to go out of the ground necessarily.
She does give herself room, but Chloe Skelton finds turn. This isn't just a good sign for, well, the Surrey spinners. It's also a good sign for Surrey's men's spinners, namely Adam Zampa. If this pitch is getting this much turn now, we've still got a lot of cricket to be played until this afternoon. That's pulled into the leg side. That could find the gap, and it does. 3rd boundary of the over for Surrey. A 3rd boundary of the over for Emma Jones. They are really now up and running.
Yeah, really, really well picked that spot there from Emma Jones. She's already premeditated that she's going to get across those stumps. She knows that Chloe Skelton has to bowl straight. So she's going to try and access that gap between long on and mid-wicket and does it really, really well. Back and across, 4 runs to the total. I think this is where Emma Jones has played really intelligently. She was 4 from 12. She's now 19 from 19. But the difference is the stage of the game that we're at. So I think if Emma Jones had maybe lost her head 3 overs ago and they were 5 down, that's a totally different situation to if they were to be 5 down now with 7 overs to go. So some really smart batting going on here in the middle.
Well, Vukovic, just the 1 over for her so far today, where she got the wicket of Kira Chatley. She's back into the attack from the pavilion end. That run rate for Surrey looking that bit healthier, 8.5 and over. A lovely touch from Monaghan. Well fielded, a short third. Keeps it to just 1 run. Big slower ball from Vukovic there and just loses her line. Wide ball given by Gabby Brown.
I was just having a look at the extras column. They've been very disciplined with their bowling today. Apart from the 5 wides from Alex Griffith's first ball, that is the only wide bowled.
Chipped or bunted into the leg side. It'll just be 1 run. Good work by Danny Gibson in the deep there.
I think that's the first time I've seen Danny Gibson field the ball. Or it's not really followed her as much as it tends to usually. I saw the throw in. I thought that could only be 1 fielder. That gun throw on the 1 bounce.
Well, it's not like she's being hidden in the field either. She's out there at deep mid-wicket. Another change up by Vukovic. Sorry, scamper through for a quick single. Wait for the umpire signal, leg byes. It's been impressive from the young Somerset bowler, showing her variations. Often going to pace off deliveries. When we played on this wicket just 2 nights ago, when the men were taking on the Morgan. No run up to mid-off. Sam Curran was the best seamer on show that day, and he was really utilising pace off deliveries. Very, very rarely bowled pace on. We're seeing Vukovic do something similar here.
Yeah, I think middle overs, if you're a seamer, those variations are going to be crucial to dots and ones, potentially leading to wickets. Obviously, sometimes it's a question of being able to execute them, but Vukovic has done so well here in this over.
4 runs. Beautifully placed by Jones, just waiting on that back foot, carving it away behind point.
Yeah, any width outside off stump from pace today, and that's that pace on delivery, has been punished through that backward point region between third and backward point. They've probably picked up maybe 4 or 5 boundaries through that area with pace on. There'll be something for Bryony Smith to be aware of with her pace bowlers.
Quick single taken up to cover. Direct hit would have potentially been the end of Emma Jones, but throw misses and Jones stays. 119 for 4 after 14. This is the Surrey live stream. We're listening to Cameron Ponsonby, former Surrey cricketer Kirstie White. And that target of 160, well, we're probably looking for that as a bare minimum now.
Yeah, so a runner ball from here gets them to 150. So yeah, I think bare minimum 160, 175, really positive total. Surrey will come out with their tails up if they move upward of that total, 100%.
Well, this pair have put on 51 runs now, just under 6 overs, so a very healthy partnership for Surrey. Amanda Jade Wellington back into the attack, this time from the Vauxhall end. There is that turn and bounce we've spoken about before. Very interesting to see how Danny Gregory goes on this wicket, and if she's able to find as much spin as Wellington is here. Well, umpire James Treadwell says that's not a wide because Emma Jones has walked a long way across to the offside.
Yeah, that's very well bowled by Wellington. She's seen Jones moving across well outside off stump and just opted to follow her there.
Or the reverse from Jones. For a lot of cricket, 1 run is scored. Swapped her hands over before playing that and kind of bunted it almost hockey style into the offside.
Yeah, this is going to be a crucial over here for Somerset in terms of that run rate and where Surrey may end up.
Monaghan, that's beautiful. Uses the extra bounce from Wellington just to lift the ball over the wicketkeeper, and she gets back for 2 runs.
Yeah, really nicely played there. She's moved late, which meant Wellington couldn't really adjust her line too much. She holds and holds and holds. Not premeditated, but knows there's a big gap. No one behind square there.
This time she goes big and long, and that's 6. Don't worry about that. Into the stands from Monaghan. That is massive. The young Surrey all-rounder, her 3rd 6 of the innings. She's on 37 off 21.
Yeah, we've seen Monaghan in a different shirt last season take apart bowling attacks here at the Kia Oval. So it's good to have her in a Surrey shirt doing just that today.
She steps across again, and this is 4. Really good batting from Monaghan. Powers the previous ball down the ground. Second time she knows there's no one behind square on the leg side. She walks across her stumps and uses placement and precision to get 4 more. She's into the 40s. Another expensive over for Wellington into the double figures. The score is 132 for 4 after 15.
Yeah, she's just looking really busy now. So if you give me anything too full, I'm going to dispatch it back over your head and into the stands. If you strain your line, I'm going to step across my stumps and punish you where the gaps are behind square. She knows exactly where her gaps are. She knows where she can score her boundaries. There's just complete clarity there from Alice Monaghan. Vukovic back into the attack in the pavilion end.
Jones goes for that paddle as well. Hugh ends it or gets some pad on it, but they're able to get through for 1 run.
I actually think that's probably the best outcome there, because had she fully connected, the line that she was picking up and the angle that she was trying to play, I think that might have ended up straight down fine leg's throat. So a dot, albeit not quite, a 1, albeit not quite where she wanted it, may have been the best outcome there for Emma Jones.
Half to point. Really well fielded, but unable to prevent the single.
Yeah, Fran Wilson's not had her best day there at backward point. She is a stalwart there. That's her position. She owns it. Just showing us what she is capable of.
Jones punches that off the back foot, finds one of those pockets, but it's a little bit shorter over towards the Harleyford Road side of the ground, so just 1 run. Well, I almost find this hard to believe, but Alice Monaghan is closing in on her highest score in professional cricket, 44 T20s. That's heaved to the leg side. Has she beaten the fielder? Yes. That's landed on the rope for mine. James Treadwell and Gabby Brown agree, and that's 6 runs. Her 4th 6 of the innings. And this is Monaghan's highest score in professional cricket, 48. And she's batted so well across this season. Surrey have put so much faith in her. Still early on in her career, 25 years old. She's rewarding that faith with both bats and ball in hand.
Yeah, and she doesn't have a set batting position here in this Surrey lineup. I don't think anyone does apart from Bryony Smith. So she's been up and down the order.
After some very clever cricket, Monaghan gets a bit ugly and just heaves that ball up to long on for one. She's on 49 off 25 balls.
How's that wickets column looking for you now, Cam?
Well,
Still
looks
worried?
great now. No problem. There's only 4 overs left.
Depth. That's what we've been talking about all year. Depth.
Well, we wait for the umpire's signal. Dot ball. Jones frustrated with herself, but I think she'll get over it pretty shortly. 4 overs to go, 142 for 4. Having spoken about 160 being the minimum score Surrey will be looking at now, we're looking at 180 and above. It's been a really fine batting display from Emma Jones and Alice Monaghan. They've been powering Surrey towards what could well be a match-winning total.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really started to impress me over the last 3 or 4 games with Surrey is you look down their lineup, and we spoke a lot about their lineup at the start of the season, how on paper, you know, they were this team that were unbelievable. They were unbeatable, but just weren't quite firing at the time. And it's in this sport, it's all about peaking at the right time, and they're absolutely doing that. And one thing that's impressed me so much with them, particularly the last 3 games, is their ability to finish games, finish innings when the time's getting tough and, you know, your back's against the wall. You've got players like Callie Moore, Phoebe Franklin, Rihanna McDonald-Gay, Alexa Stonehouse can just come in and get the job done.
Or will that be given as runs? We wait for the umpire's signal. No! James Treadwell spoils the party for now. Alice Monaghan has to wait her first professional 50. Fascinated to see how Alice Monaghan does in this year's 100. I think she's an incredibly talented cricketer. She bowled a fantastic spell to Heather Knight on the opening day of the season. You're seeing today just how powerful and creative a batter she can be as well. Cut out to cover point for 1 more run.
Yes, it was a really good decision for her to move here to Surrey. And, you know, when I first saw that she'd made the move, she could have stayed at Hampshire and she probably would have been potentially opening the bowling, opening the batting. You know, opportunities were there, and you kind of looked at it and thought, oh, is she going to play? Is she going to get an opportunity?
There is the 50. Just struck out to backward point. Emma Jones knew the score. She's got on her bike for her mate, and Alice Monaghan has a very well-deserved 50 here at the Kia Oval. Just 27 balls it's taken her. She's showed power, she's showed precision, she's showed creativity. She's done a seriously good job for her team here. Excellent. Really good batting from Jones. Walks across her stumps and just lifts the ball over short, fine leg. She's been finding her own straps as well now.
Yeah, this is an excellent partnership here from this pair. 81 runs is the partnership so far.
Should just be 1 run. Alice Monaghan agrees and says no to Emma Jones.
Surrey is 150 in the 17th.
That is the 150 up for Surrey. 17th over, 16.5 bowled. Somerset will be feeling quite frustrated at the moment. They had a really good opportunity here earlier on. Sorry, 68 for 4. The runs weren't flowing. Wickets were tumbling, but these two have batted extremely well. Monaghan goes across her stumps again. Hits that square and it's just cut off inside the boundary. So we're going to have a little look at Alice Monaghan's highlights so far today. She's been in superb form, 3 4s and 4 6s. take her to, as we were saying, her first ever professional 50. She started off brilliantly well, cutting Amanda Jade Wellington when it looked like the leg spin was getting too much bounce to really take on. But no bother for Monaghan. A couple of skips down the track and launching the ball into the stands. That was her 4th 6, and by no means her biggest of the day. A smile, a fist pump and a hug from her teammates, and a well-deserved drink as they go towards the last 3 overs of this first innings.
Yeah, and I think this is only Alice Monaghan's 3rd game back after that thumb injury against Somerset, actually, a while back. Fielding off of her own bowling, balls hit straight back to her, and she's knocked the ball onto the stumps to run Heather Knight out at the non-striker's end, and broken her thumb in the making. So a couple of screws in the thumb, a little bit of rest for a few months, and she's back here doing this maiden T20 50, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
So Wellington's going to have her final over. Emma Jones walks several miles outside her off stump. Wellington follows her. Umpire Gabby Brown says, no, that's a dot ball. You started that, Emma Jones. This time she goes to reverse. Appeal from Wellington.
Oh, it's a real game of cat and mouse, this, isn't it? I think you're hard-pressed to try and outsmart Amanda Jade Wellington. They're having some fun, though. A good smile between batter and bowler. This is what the game's all about. Oh.
Caught and bowled. Easy as you like from Wellington. And a smile and a laugh from Emma Jones. They'd had their battle, they'd had their contest, and this time Wellington wins. I think she was as surprised as anyone that it stuck. It was a little bit of Velcro hands. Jones struck the ball well, straight back at the bowler. Ball struck the palm of Wellington's right hand and stayed there.
Yeah, I think it was probably only going to end one way, and actually I think, you know, for the crowd, it was really entertaining bit of play there. Very well held. Can't wait to see the replay on that. You're right, Velcro hands, and she's almost taken it behind her, actually. Let's just have a look at this replay. Emma Jones hits the ball very hard. I think the umpire's probably quite grateful.
That's one-handed.
Yeah, it's kind of guided with the other, but actually it's just stuck in that right palm. Strongest hand. Oh, there it is.
That's out. Emma Jones, you can't bat anymore because somehow you've launched the ball back at me and I've caught it. Very good-spirited over so far from Wellington. Her and Emma Jones having some fun. Emma Jones was hopping around the crease. Wellington was following her. And then with the straight of the delivery, Jones thumped it back in Wellington's direction. Like those games you play as a child where you have that kind of Velcro glove on. Oh, that's straight up in the air, and that should be out as well. No. Somehow, Phoebe Franklin is still at the crease.
She's almost run a 2 there as well in the making.
So Franklin's got a top edge on that. It's somehow landed perfectly between wicketkeeper and bowler. Franklin set off to try and run a single. Well, now she plays and misses. Is that everything, this Wellington over? We're going to have a replay. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what it's going to be of. We've got had so much excitement. Here we go. It's the catching opportunity. And that's well swept out to Danny Gibson in the deep. In her first appearance on a cricket pitch in 4 months. Not fit to bowl today, Danny Gibson, but we wait to see her out in the middle with the bat.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where she's going to bat today, actually.
Down the track.
Oh.
Struck firmly at cover. That ball has bounced. Well, we've got run-out chance as well now. That's been fumbled at the stumps. There's a remarkable amount of things happening here at the Kia Oval. I think that's rocketed, or ricocheted more to the point, off the shins of the fielder at cover. It's bounced all the way across to long on. Have a look at this. Ow.
I think it was the kneecap. I'd be after a transplant there. It's almost gone for 4 off the kneecap. It's gone that quickly.
It's Neve Holland there.
Excuse the pun.
Bit of trampoline shins from Somerset player.
I think that might leave a mark, an egg. She's just walking around and nothing happened.
Found that over from Wellington overwhelming, Kirstie.
It didn't seem to end, did it? It was
There was
great.
too much going on at all times. Olivia Barnes is coming to the attack, hopefully to calm everything down a little bit. 156 for 5 is Surrey's score. There's 2 overs left. Phoebe Franklin on strike. She hops across the stumps. She's looking to bunt that ball into the leg side. I wonder if she's potentially better served by just looking to knock the ball down the ground for 1. Monaghan's at the other end, ready to go. That's lifted over cover. That's a wonderful cricket shot. Why take 1 when you can score 4? Franklin, who's been in good form with the bat, continues to show evidence of that with a beautiful drive over extra cover.
Yeah, good use of the feet, width on offer. I think originally she came down the track to look and play straight back over the bowler's head, but actually with that width she was able just to lift it over extra cover and pick up 4, where she would have only got 1 if she'd hit it down the ground. It's a good adjustment from Phoebe Franklin.
Well, bit of a miss it into the leg side, but they're able to sprint through for 1. Monaghan is back on strike. 9 balls left in this innings. What can she do? What damage can she do to lift Surrey up towards that 180 mark? Down the ground. Struck up to long on, but a miss hit, which means it's only 1 run.
Eight balls to come. What are you saying, Cam? 180?
17 runs, 179.
Oh!
As one of them, Monaghan almost taken out in the process. Well fielded by Gibson. She's putting in the yard. She's at deep mid-wicket. The bowling's from the pavilion end. She's at long on. It's from the Vauxhall end, so she'll be getting her steps in.
Yeah, and her burpees. Alice Monaghan basically just did a burpee before taking that single.
Oh, well, sloppy piece of fielding in the covers there. Allows 1 more run. So, all in all, a good over there for Somerset. Just 8 runs scored off the penultimate over of the innings. There's 1 over to go. The score's 164 for 5. But what that single did allow was Alice Monaghan to keep the strike. We'll have 1 final change of bowling. We wait to find out who's going to be entrusted with the final over. I believe it's Aaron Vukasic. See some families in for family day here at the Kia Oval. Get yourself down over the course of the afternoon. You've still got a whole other innings of the women's game to go before the men take on Somerset this afternoon. Most importantly, in 2 Sundays' time, Women's Finals Day is here at the Kia Oval. Driven up to cover. Misfields. Poor Niamh Holland. Her shins are taking an absolute battering at the moment, as the ball is just being lumped to her at cover.
Yeah, she's doing her job well, though. She's saved 4 runs. If she picked it up cleanly, she might have even produced a dot. Just slight change in personnel in the hot spots.
It's chipped down the ground by Franklin. Monaghan is quick and she'll look to come back for 2. She does. It's well run by Monaghan.
Alice Monaghan has been at the crease for a long period of time, and it's very warm out there, and that was probably the quickest 2 I've seen today. She's so fast off the mark.
Well, in bad news for Somerset fans, Niamh Holland in the game again, and this time it sneaks through again. It allows an extra run. She's just had a tough time in the last over or two. Surrey now on 169. The highest score that Somerset have made in this competition is 164. So they're going to need a new record for their season if they're going to chase this total from Surrey. Well, where's that gone? Before. Behind square, Phoebe Franklin has just lifted that over. Short fine leg. It's a really good piece of innovation. Phoebe Franklin's been in such fine form with the bat. She's another player who I'm really excited to see perform in the 100. Feels like Franklin, especially with bat in hand, has gone up a notch this year. This pair in the middle have been so crucial to Surrey's success so far this season.
Yeah, Phoebe Franklin actually making the move this year to the Oval Invincibles under Jonathan Batty, so she'll be playing here for the Invincibles during the 100, so really exciting to see how she features in that 100 side.
She walks across her stumps again and bowls. This time, it's one effort too many. Wickets has her second of the innings, but Franklin 15 off 11, she's played her part. You have to put your foot and keep your foot down on the accelerator at this stage of the innings. She's bowled on this occasion for an enterprising 15. She's helped Surrey get above 170. It's Kalia Moore who'll come in and face the last ball of the innings. See the replay there. Walks across, and Erin Vukovic has knocked off stump out of the ground this innings. Now knocks leg stump out of the ground. She's got one ball to complete the set.
Kalia Moore, who's been so good at finishing matches in the last few games for Surrey, when Somerset looked like they were a little bit on top actually down at Taunton less than a week ago. It was last Wednesday. Kalia Moore came in and smashed a few boundaries and finished the game to take Surrey over the line.
Lifted up towards long on. Will that be out? No. Will it be 4? Also no. Will they keep running?
Also no.
No as well. Well, 2 runs scored off the last ball of the Surrey innings. Kalia Moore contributing at the last. 175 for 6 is the final total for Surrey after their 20 overs. It's been a fine effort with bat in hand. Equally so from the Somerset bowlers, who started off ever so strongly to reduce Surrey to 4 down within the first 10 overs. Strike rates on show have been fantastic from the Surrey batters. 145 for Bryony Smith, 142 for Alice Capsey. Alice Monaghan, the star of the show, 57 not out off 32, striking 178. You can see her walking off the pitch there, getting a well-deserved high five from head coach Johan Myberg. Ailish Cranstone there, been out injured this season, still very much part of the squad. And her teammates know exactly how important she's been this innings. We're going to have a little run through of the scorecards at this halfway stage. And I imagine there's going to be a bit of Kia high catch action in the interval. Here are those cards. The batting innings first and foremost. As we said, Alice Monaghan, the star of the show, but well supported by Emma Jones. You might look at that innings of 34 of 34 and it seems a bit slower than the rest of the pace of the innings, but she had a difficult time starting Emma Jones and then really caught up and rotated the strike well in what was a crucial partnership with Alice Monaghan. And then the bowlers, 6 on show today for Somerset. The pick of the bunch, Chloe Skelton, 2 for 20 off her 3 overs, including a wicket maiden. And it was at that point where it really looked like Somerset might be about to turn the screw. But all in all, the tail of the tape, after Somerset won the toss and elected to bowl, Surrey are 175 for 6. We'll be right back in 10 minutes with live commentary of the second innings, but now it is the Kia high catch down in the middle.
Trust me, send your friend to go out and get your food and drink, because you all want to see this on the big screen. It is our Kia High Catch Challenge! And because we have the women's game at the moment and the men's a bit later, we do have girls versus boys for our high catch challenge. This is how it works. In a minute, magically from the sky, some tennis balls are going to be thrown. You are going to have 6 each for each team. We'll see how many you can catch out of 6. We'll see how many you can catch out of 6. We have got here Matthew and Theo, who are from Wimbledon, yeah?
Yeah.
And tell us about your cricket club you play for.
It's in Wimbledon, and it's right next to the tennis club.
Nice. And then you're here supporting Surrey today, yeah?
Yeah.
Great. And then from Hampton, we have got Ellie and Lauren. Hello, girls.
Hello.
And do you play cricket at all?
Yes.
And where do you play?
Hampton Hill Cricket Club.
Oh, we have got a battle of the youth teams from South London here. So we'll start with the boys first. So girls, I'm going to come over with you in a minute. So we've had a little test. You know what's going to happen. I think we should let you play together, I think. So we're going to fire 6 balls, okay? Audience, here's what we're going to do. As the balls come, we go, oh! And if we catch it, we give them a big cheer. Boys, you ready? Let's cheer on Matthew and Theo, guys. Stand by for the first ball. Looking out for it. There it comes. Oh! Oh! Don't worry. We'll stand a bit further back. Okay, the ladies ready? Here we go. Here comes ball number 2. Oh! Oh, it's a high one. Oh! I'll tell you what. Why don't one of you stand a bit further back and a bit nearer? Okay. Ball 3 of 6. She is ready. Stand by. Here it comes. Oh, it was further back, that one. Okay, we have got our next 3 balls. Here we go, ball number 4. Come on, we can catch one. Cheer them on, everyone. Here we go, it's high, it's high, it's high, it's high, it's high. Oh! They're being a bit sneaky and being out back. Okay, you ready for ball 5? Matthew and Theo? Here we go. It's coming. Oh, 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 oh. Oh! I tell you what, if you can catch the next one on a bounce, you can have a point. Here we go. Standing by, our last one. Come on, cheer on the boys, everyone. Come on, boys, here we go. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, catch you on the bounce, catch you on the bounce. Oh! Well done, boys. It's a lot harder. Give a round of applause to Matthew and Theo, everyone. Okay, representing Hampton. Anyone from Hampton here? Gives she from Hampton? Some people in the corner. Okay, so Ellie and Lauren, take the space. Here we go. It's basically 1 to catch to win. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, everyone, cheer them on. Here we go, Kia Oval. Ball number 1 of 6. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, it was in the hands. It was out. I think the fact that you pushed her didn't help. Here we go, the second one. Stand by. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, it was in the hands. Okay, here comes the next one. Here comes the 3rd ball. Stand by. Oh, oh, it's a bit shallow, that one. Oh, it was in the hands, but missed it. Okay, you're halfway, girls. Come on, cheer on Ellie and Lauren. Ball number 4. Ooh. Oh! Okay, 2 more to go. Ball 5. Stand by. Oh, oh, oh. Oh! Okay, one more, everyone, get behind them. Stamp your feet, stamp your hands. Here's ball number 6, the last one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah! We got one. Come in, Matthew and Theo. Come in, girls. We ended on a high. The content gods thank you. So, come in, girls. So, look, here's what we normally do. Of course, we don't give a prize to the winner. We give a prize to everyone. So, there we go. Have some Surrey caps. And this is where my high catch challenge. 1, 2. I don't get an all or a cheer from everyone when I catch. Guys, give us a big wave. Did you all enjoy it? If you are staying for the men's games, we will do it in the innings break now. But the next voice you will hear will be Sam, who's going to give us a team news update before, obviously, we change around for the next innings. But before then, it's the world-class DJ. It's Tony Perry with another tune.
Welcome back to the Kia Oval, where Somerset are about to attempt to chase 176 for their second victory of the season. Their captain Niamh Holland leading them out alongside wicketkeeper batter Bex Odgers. It's going to be Surrey's chance to get their 10th win on the season. They've been superb this year. My name's Cameron Ponsonby. I'm joined by Kirstie White here on the Surrey live stream. And Surrey want to win to make sure they secure or take another step closer to securing the top spot in this table, because if they do that in 2 weeks' time today, they will automatically qualify for the final. The Women's Blast Finals Day is here at the Kia Oval on Sunday the 27th of July. It's going to be a fantastic day, and there are 2 matches for you to come down and watch. The first will be the semi-final between the 2nd and 3rd place in the table, and the winner of that will go on to play the winner, well, the winner of the group stage at least, in the final. And Surrey are currently sitting pretty atop the table. We're going to have Alexa Stonehouse opening the bowling for Surrey. A left armour. Well, Surrey will be feeling pretty confident of registering another victory. Somerset will require their highest score of the competition if they're going to win this game. And here comes Stonehouse. That's a good dot ball to begin with. Really well played by Odgers. Just a dot ball.
Yeah, Alexa Stonehouse has had a couple of really good games with the ball. She's been really impressive up front with her left arm in swing. She's been restricting batters at the top.
That's full and a bit of swing on offer. Well, confusion in the middle. Could this be a run out? Smart work by everyone involved there.
Yeah, good start there from Surrey. Aggressive in the field, which is what they'll want to be doing, restricting singles and making Somerset work for every single run on offer.
Another dot ball. Odgers will be a bit frustrated here because she's timed 2 of the 3 deliveries here really nicely. She's just hit the fielders. Stonehouse using her 2 fielders out in the deep, over on the leg side at fine leg and deep square leg. So there are 5 fielders packed in the ring on the offside, making it challenging for the opening batter to pierce those gaps. Short, and that's pulled out to deep square leg, 1 bounce, and that's 4. Really nice shot from Odgers, who's looked in very fine touches. Their first runs of the innings, promising signs so far for Somerset.
Yeah, she's just sat back actually, just let that come onto her. She's so still at the point of contact and then just swivels on it, almost a little bit the way that Bryony Smith does, just follows the ball around. Deep square is positioned for that shot, but it just didn't quite have the pace to carry to around the corner. Better line from Stonehouse.
Well fielded by Bryony Smith at mid-off, who kind of paused after that dive, just almost kind of congratulate herself on her fine work.
Yeah, I agree with you, Cam. Those first 4 deliveries, Odgers was hitting the ball hard and timing it really nicely. They know that they're going to have to get a move on early and not die wondering.
A leave. First ball from skipper Niamh Holland. So 1 over gap, 1 over down. It's 5, no loss. So just to clarify the match situation for Surrey, if they win with a bonus point, they will be guaranteed top spot. So they will go straight through to the final here at Finals Day on the 27th of July in 2 weeks' time today. And it currently looks like they'll be joined by either Warwickshire or the Blaze, who are in 2nd and 3rd place respectively at the moment. But a lot of cricket still to be played in this Vitality Blast. And even if they don't get that bonus point win, they need a lot of big results in favour of the Blaze going against Surrey. So all being well, they should absolutely finish this season top, but no reason to not want to keep winning. It's Kalia Moore to come into the attack from the pavilion end. Very calmly played by Odgers out into the offside.
Initial movement outside off. Wanting to play with the spin, but Callier more just opting to follow, resulting in just a 1 out to deep cover. Brings Holland back on strike. Isn't yet to score. Only faced 1 delivery though. We'll give her a chance.
It's pulled out to the leg side. Could well be 2. It's a really big boundary out towards that leg side. And well fielded in the deep, but even that throw, Kira Chatley has to kind of walk towards it a little bit. She ended up taking it around 10 yards from the stump, so Somerset potentially could have been looking to push for 2 there. Swept, and that will be 4. That'll skip across the square. And it's early days, but Odgers has looked absolutely phenomenal so far.
Yeah, I agree. Game on, I love it. She's up for it, isn't she? And there hasn't been a ball she's mistimed yet. Now, I know we're 3 balls into the second over, but she's faced 7 of the deliveries that have come down so far. And she has timed every single ball she has struck, whether she's scored from it or not.
Well, she misses 1. She is human after all. She's not had the best season for Somerset this year, just the 150, average of 20.8. She prompts a field change. Now going to a 5-4 offside field. So 1 fielder on the boundary either side at deep cover point and deep mid-wicket. And that's out. Alexa Stonehouse has caught it. She looks shocked. I don't know why. It was a comfortable take for the young fast bowler. And Moore has her first wicket of the afternoon. And it could be a big one as well. Odgers looked in very fine touch. But on this occasion, a thick edge flies down to short third. And Surrey have their first wicket en route to what could be a very important bonus point win.
Yeah, interesting to see the replay here. Perhaps just a little bit of spin takes her by surprise and actually just takes a big thick outside edge caught at third. Let's just see if that is the case. Yeah, big bit of spin there. Catches that edge high up off the top of the bat. Alexa Stonehouse takes it low moving forward. Wasn't particularly happy about having to do so, but takes the catch cleanly. And that's that 1 on the board that Surrey are chasing. And Bex Odgers, who was looking dangerous at the start, has to depart.
That's a frustrating wicket to lose for Somerset. It's Ruby Davis in at number 3. So, just for the scores on the doors, Surrey need to bowl out Somerset, restrict them to 140 or less to get that bonus point win. Defenders into the offside and a quick single taken by Davis to get off the mark. After 2 overs, the score is 12 for 1.
Yeah, I don't mind that. If Niamh Holland would have been wanting to take the first ball of this next over, having only faced 2 deliveries herself. So the 2 batters in the middle, combined deliveries of 3 so far, as Alexa Stonehouse looks like she's going to bowl her 2nd consecutive over. Didn't see any consecutive overs, did we, from the Somerset bowling lineup?
Well, I'll need to go back through and check it, but I don't think we did, because it's become, well, a vogue thing to do. To not allow any batters to settle at any point.
There's a real presence in front of the bat here. It's quite intimidating from where we're standing.
A swing and a miss from Davis. Signed a short-term contract with Somerset earlier this year. She has been part of the academy, playing some cricket for Worcestershire earlier on this year as well. 70 against Derbyshire a couple of weeks ago. Well, shot at the stumps. If that had hit, it would have been out. Davis ran on the shot there. It was well fielded at backward point. It was sharp work from Surrey, who looked switched on at the start of this innings.
Yeah, very sharp work. Phoebe Franklin, I think it is at backward point. No, it's not. It's definitely not. I'm not sure who that is, actually. Let me see. Maybe Alice Monaghan. Phoebe Franklin's at mid-wicket, where she usually fields.
It is indeed Alice Monaghan there at backward point. Cut again off the back foot, this time in front of square, and Alice Capsey does the necessary.
Yeah, if we can get a wider angle of the field that Surrey have set at the moment, they are like sharks. They are hunting, almost circling these batters, really piling on pressure. There's so many fielders in the batter's eye line.
Oh, that's a beauty. Late movement from Stonehouse, chops Davis in half. Stonehouse really looks like she means business today. James Treadwell just warning the fast bowler that she's quite tight on that front line. But have a look at this. Don't worry about her front foot, worry about what happens at the other end.
Goodness me. 4 dots. Bryony Smith having a little word. How are we going to get out this over? What's the plan? Happy that you've bowled 4 dots, but let's protect the boundaries. Deep cover is going out. Fine legs coming up inside the ring.
So what's the plan here? Why would this protect a boundary more so than fine leg being out in the deep?
I think you've answered your own question there, Cam.
I'm just trying to educate the viewers. I love learning.
Yeah, just that extra protection there, so gives her that freedom to offer a little bit more width. And while a maiden would have been delightful, a boundary would have just released that pressure valve for Somerset. Also, you've had 4 dots at Davis.
Goodness me. Well, Holland has got herself in a real pickle there. Because that fielder had come up from fine leg into the ring, she thought about the scoop over short fine leg. Stonehouse has pushed the ball across her. As a result, Holland ends up looking a little bit silly at the end of the 3rd over, and it's 13 for 1. Surrey well on top.
Yeah, with this required run rate as it is, indecision is not going to be your friend here, Niamh Holland. So make a decision and commit. I don't think playing with soft hands with 9 fielders in front of you is probably the option. So I think just back yourself, Niamh Holland. Hit the ball hard on the ground. And if you beat a fielder, you're going to get full value for it.
Some discussion among Somerset fans. This was from Dan Kingdom's Twitter, who, if you are interested in domestic cricket, and Somerset cricket in particular, you should absolutely follow him. Questioning whether Holland was the youngest Somerset captain in history. She's just 20 years old, the Somerset opener. McDonald Gay into the attack, and that is wonderfully fielded in the covers. And a direct hit as well. Emma Jones with the work, and Surrey are on today. Yes, 1 run was scored, but goodness me, have a look at this. Well cut into the offside. Fielded diving to her left by Jones, who's then up on her knees, throwing at the stumps and hitting the stumps. All in all, more fine work.
Yeah, they're looking like a class of their own today, Surrey.
Pushed up towards mid-off, and that's no run.
Even this, so it's the small things in games like this that can just add pressure. So driven out really nicely to Bryony Smith at mid-off. She could be quite content with the dot, but actually she wants the keeper up in and around the batter to feel the pressure. So sends the ball in.
Skewed into the leg side. It's another single. And after Odgers looked in such fine form with those 2 boundaries at the start of the innings, Somerset just struggling for tempo here. Davis on 3 off 7, Holland on 2 off 5.
Yeah, and restricting boundaries in the power play is going to be top of Surrey's priority.
Down the track from Davis, who's looked to be really proactive this innings. They're going to be able to find 2. That's well run by Somerset. The ball just kind of scuttles into an unusual area of the pitch.
This is a real disciplined bowling performance here from Surrey so far. They have been hit and miss with the ball across their games. I think, you know, as we mentioned in the first innings, it is about peaking at the right time, and they're certainly, all the pieces are starting to fit together nicely here now. But power plays like this will certainly help.
Davis goes to that scoop again, this time gets it. Just gets little enough on it that it beats the dive of Chatley behind the stumps, and he gets fine enough to beat Stonehouse at fine leg. And Somerset have a boundary.
Yeah, Chatley going with the goalkeeper-esque attempt at the save to parry it over the bar, but Davis slots that into the top corner.
Bold. McDonald-Gay back to her best. We've seen this sight so often here at the Kia Oval this season of Rhiannon McDonald-Gay smashing stumps. And she gets this one to duck back in at Georgia Davis, and leg stump is out the ground, and Georgia Davis is on her way. Lucy Davis, beg your pardon.
Yeah, signature move that from Rhiannon McDonald-Gay. She takes poles. Interested to see replay here, but I think that's gone between bat and pad. Cut off the surface and taken that leg stump out of the ground, as she's done so many times this season. Yeah, cut the batter in half here. Sends leg stump out of the ground. And Davis is on her way.
Also that double insult to injury to Ruby Davis. I incorrectly named her twice there after she'd just been dismissed. She's been looking up some images of her playing for Devon under-13s online against Wales when she signed her deal with Somerset. There we go. Right, Stonehouse. Interesting from Bryony Smith here. With Stonehouse finding this swing early on in the innings, she's sticking with her fast bowler through the power play. It's really one of the 2 ways we're seeing T20 cricket played at the moment. Is either we see continual changes of bowling, or when the ball is swinging, you stick with your fast bowlers, you give them the best chance to attack those stumps. Stonehouse into Holland. Ball cut up to cover.
Yeah, I think there's been very few occasions in the Blast this season where a bowler's had 3 consecutive overs, particularly at the top of the innings within the power play. Stonehouse has been bowling with pinpoint accuracy, going just for 6 from her 2 overs so far.
A wide ball there from Stonehouse. It's the 7th run she's conceded. A wicket did bring Fran Wilson to the crease, a very experienced operator for Somerset. Played a number of times for England across the decade of 2010 to 2020, over 60 matches in total. Well, swing and a miss from Holland. Potentially needs to take a leaf out of Emma Jones's book here. Take a breath, turn the strike over and just find her feet.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that might be exactly what Fran Wilson has just wandered down and said to Niamh Holland. There's a lot of pressure on her. She's a young captain. She's taken over this role in the absence of Sophie Luff. New captain as well. Probably feeling a lot of responsibility on her shoulders, but she just needs to take a breath and play her natural game.
Lifted up over the ring. That'll be 1 run out to the deep. So Fran Wilson about to face her first delivery. Beautiful shots up to cover, but no run. Again, more good fielding from Surrey. And Myberg will be very pleased with his team's performance so far in the field.
Yeah, it seems like they've got their angles just right, where Somerset maybe were not quite there with those angles. McDonald Gay doing the work there at extra cover, tumbling to her right. Saves 4 runs.
Down the track. Go for a quick single. 2 batters are at the same end here.
Oh dear. Oh no.
Alexa Stonehouse went for glory there. She had Phoebe Franklin ready at the stumps with all the time in the world for a gentle throw to come in, the bails to be removed. Neve Holland kept running. And at this point, Stonehouse. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And when the throw came in underarm to Phoebe Franklin, she wasn't looking to hit her in the back of the calf. So we've had a couple of moments of comedy cricket today. And that was the second.
Catch that. Oh.
Well, aerial through the ring on the offside, and Fran Wilson is off the mark this time. And already that run rate required has bumped up above 10 runs and over. 5 overs gone. Stonehouse, she's bowled 3. She's not looking best pleased with herself at the moment. Let's see who will be coming on from the pavilion end. We'll see a number of families in today. Some school children in at the moment, all wearing their high-vis jackets, which suggests to me it's an organised trip out. They're getting some hats to keep themselves protected from the sun. It's another scorcher here at the Kia Oval. And Rhiannon McDonald-Gay is going to have her second over to complete the power play. Well, Fran Wilson goes for the reverse ramp, gets it. 4 more runs. It's the only 2 boundaries that have been scored by Somerset in the last 4 overs, are using the pace and accessing the space behind the stumps. Surrey leave. That's a fine shot from Fran Wilson.
Yeah, the tightest of angles there, actually. And that reverse ramp is extremely difficult because your natural movement to ramp is to get inside of the line so that your head is exactly in line with the way the ball is coming down the wicket.
This tight single taken to mid-off. Wilson makes it home.
So with the reverse ramp, you've kind of just got to trust your hands, pick up the line early and almost get your head out of the way. It's quite an unnatural angle to play.
Slaps down the ground, and that beats mid-off and will be 4. Holland gets the boundary she's been after, and she'll feel more settled after that. Well, it is Wimbledon finals day. Holland gets the forehand out.
She does. The forehand smash on return. It's a break serve. Maybe a bit of a dive refusal from Bryony Smith.
Oh, there we go again. That one's even better. How on earth she's managed to hit the ball there, I don't quite know. On the jump, she's slapped the ball through cover. Again, getting over the top of it. And the ball skips away through the ring. Have a look at this. Donald Gay goes short. That's fantastic from Neve Holland.
I'm not sure you can set a field for that shot.
Oh, well bowled.
Put your steel toe caps on, Neve Holland. I almost called her Neil Holland then. Neve Holland. Because McDonald Gay's decided, if I'm going to bowl a dot, it's by bowling at your toes. And she'll be very glad that didn't land on the top of her boot.
This is why McDonald Gay is in and around all the England squads currently. Because that extra bit of pace and magic and skills that she possesses. Power play is over. It's 37 for 2, and we'll have a little look at the best bits from the opening 6 overs of Somerset's run chase. Odgers started in such fine fashion. She looked in wonderful touch, but then her innings was cut short, just 11 runs. We've seen a couple of scoops behind the stumps. Mainly, we've seen pace from Surrey. Rihanna McDonald-Gay, quick, sometimes to her benefit, sometimes to her detriment. Fran Wilson getting the reverse ramp out there on that one occasion to lift Somerset up to 37. They need as good as 10 runs and over. Given how much movement the Surrey seamers have been finding, we're going to have an early look at Phoebe Franklin. We don't see her bowling this early often in T20 cricket. She's also bowling ahead of Alice Monaghan. He chucked in a couple of beamers a couple of days ago against the Blaze and had to get pulled off. That's a lovely shot from Wilson. Franklin bowling to this almost off-spinners field that she often does, where there's only 4 fielders on the offside, which means you have a big space effectively between cover and backward point to access. So Wilson just gave herself some room there and kind of dobbed the ball into the vacant area. There she goes again. This time she might get 4, and she does. Smart batting from Wilson. Franklin might have to have a rethink already.
It almost looks like there's a little bit of late movement there for Phoebe Franklin, swinging. And Fran Wilson's so good at playing late and opening the face of the bat that she can really access that big open space between deep backward point and third. Some reinforcements coming in now in the backward point region.
Pace off from Franklin. Cut for 1 more run. It'll be interesting if she sticks to the same field for Niamh Holland. So with this field has now hopped over from mid-wicket over to backward point, which means in front of square on the leg side is completely vacant. 3 fielders on the leg side in front of square, all on the boundary. Knock and run from Somerset.
Yeah, it's an interesting comparison. When Surrey finished the power play, they were 53 for 3. So Grace Harris got out with the last delivery of the power play. But obviously, 53 runs from that power play put them in a really strong position.
This time Wilson steps across her stumps, again looking to access the space that's now on offer from Surrey, which is front of square on that leg side. Franklin follows her and forces the dot ball. Another dot to finish. So a good recovery from Franklin. 6 runs off the first 2 balls. The over as a whole, though, goes for 8. So after 7 overs, it is 45 for 2. You're watching and listening the Surrey live stream. I'm Cameron Ponsonby. I'm joined former Surrey legend, Kirstie White. She's been saying player before then.
Player, that's fine. No, I think interesting now we're seeing Danny Gregory. She usually takes the first over out of the power play in both formats, in the 50 over and the T20. Might be a case of what end she fancied today, and that might be why. What end Surrey want to finish at meant which end they start at. It'll be good to see if she can get any turn here. Amanda Jade Wellington, obviously a very, very big turner of the ball. Danny Gregory doesn't turn it as much, but she does get a lot of top spin and has been turning it a fair bit more this season than she has in the past.
Well, Danny Gregory from the pavilion end. Well, that's out. What an introduction for Danny Gregory, and now we have middle stump out of the ground. Erin Vukasic had knocked out off and leg stump during Surrey's batting innings. Danny Gregory completes the set, but this time it's Niamh Holland who has to go. What a start for the leg spinner.
Yeah, she's very good at bowling straight. She targets the stumps first and foremost, and any spin that comes in after that. So just stepping across the line, Niamh Holland has never really looked settled today. If you're targeting the stumps, it's a case of if you miss, I hit. And Danny Gregory on the radar straight away, taking middle stump out of the ground. Niamh Holland just wandering across onto off stump. She gets underneath the bat, takes middle stump out of the ground. So Rhiannon McDonald-Gay has taken leg stump. Danny Gregory's taken middle stump. Who's up for off?
It's all been at this end as well.
It has all been at this end. Maybe we need a little bit. I don't think we've had any bowls at the other end, have we? Oh no, we have. Maybe a little bit more water. Maybe a little bit more water in the grounds to cement the poles in at the pavilion end.
Well, the peculiar patterns of life. But this is a moment in the season. Danny Gibson in her first match for Somerset as a fully professional women's team after a long time out of injury. She's in at number 5. She starts with a dot ball.
Watchful, that first delivery.
Swept out to deep mid-wicket, and Danny Gibson is underway. Must be a nervous moment after a long time out of the game. Just searching for that first run.
Yeah, I think sometimes just the excitement of being out in the middle overrides the nerves. You're just happy to be out there and enjoy yourself. Oh, threaded.
That's beautiful. An elegant touch from Fran Wilson. She's pushed that ball in the gap between mid-off and cover and got 4 runs for it.
She's just brushed that. Yeah, just brushed that gently and elegantly through that narrow gap between extra cover and mid-off. Bryony Smith recognising it's a hot spot and moving herself somewhere else. Says Phoebe Franklin, you can do the tumbling from here on in, thank you very much.
With that fielding change, Fran Wilson immediately looks to sweep to the leg side. I reckon Fran Wilson looks at gaps, not fielders.
I reckon Fran Wilson looks at gaps, not fielders. She's an incredibly wise cricket player. Fountain of knowledge. The calmest player you'll ever meet.
That's lofted up the ground. Grace Harris does the fielding. It's just 1 run. An eventful first over for Danny Gregory. A wicket and 6 runs. Somerset 51 for 3. The run rate required is 10.42. You must say, even at this stage, Surrey heavy favourites.
Yeah, they'll be wanting to really nail on all of their non-negotiables today ahead of securing themselves a seat straight in that final on finals day. And what will be really interesting about finals day, obviously on the 27th here at the Kia Oval, will be that Surrey will have Danny White-Hodge back in the attack and Alice Capsey potentially, although I think she's in the one-day squad, so she may be lost again.
Lofted up towards long on. Is this out? Yes. Well held by Emma Jones. Just the slices of checks behind her. She wasn't encroaching on the rope, but she was nowhere near. Well held. Moore has her 2nd wicket of the afternoon, and Fran Wilson has to go.
Yeah. I think if there was anyone that was going to anchor the ship here for Somerset, it would have been Fran Wilson, and Somerset would certainly have been looking to her to get them through the other side of these 20 overs. So she's a little bit disappointed walking off there. Doesn't quite get hold of all of it. Emma Jones, good job on the boundary. Had a good few yards behind her spare to rock back should she have needed them. She's fairly tall, Emma Jones, as well, so quite a stature to get the ball over as well.
51 for 4 now, and Somerset needs something special. Fortunately for them, the player coming in to the crease has already done something special against Surrey this year. Amanda Jade Wellington. I think she finished off with 24 off 7 balls not out to win the unwinnable game in the One Day Cup in the first round of this season. Surrey will be wary of the Australian all-rounder. She gets going immediately, clipping the ball into the leg side. So just a reminder of what's at stake here at the Oval. Surrey, currently top of the table. If they win with a bonus point, and that means restricting Somerset to 140 or less, they're guaranteed a spot in the final of the Vitality Blast finals day. Already their position is so strong. That's your normal 4-point win rather than a 5-point win. Should be enough. There'd need to be a series of quite extreme results for that to swap over. Surrey ever so close to making sure that in 2 weeks' time here on their home grounds, they'll be in the final. Full toss. Splits through Grace Harris's hands. She sets up after it. Can she reel it in? Yes, just about. So, 2 runs scored, 3 runs scored. I think Wellington still gets back for 3. Full toss, struck down the ground from Wellington. Just sneaks through Grace Harris's fingertips. Easy as you like. What's the problem? Lifted, this time over Grace Harris. Will she reel this one in? Yes, as well. Box office, wherever and whenever she's playing Grace Harris. This time it's 2 runs.
Well fielded, Grace Harris.
Have a look at the style points on this dive. The belly flop wouldn't go well at the end.
Oh.
Ow.
That'll knock the wind out of you. She's so stylish. It's almost annoying.
This time, gap isn't found. It's just 1 run. I think you've given Grace Harris some extra credit points there for describing the belly flop as stylish. I thought it was maybe it was an elegant belly flop.
It was a full Klinsmann. It was a full Klinsmann.
To me.
And then she hops straight back up and just styles it out in the Wayfarers and the cap with a bit of swag.
Well, she can do what she wants here at the Kia Oval, Grace Harris. It'll be an absolute blockbuster in 2 weeks' time with her in the middle order. Danny White-Hodge opening the batting. Danny White-Hodge, despite not playing in the competition for the last week or 2, is still the top run scorer in it. She's been nothing short of phenomenal for Surrey this season. Danny Gregory's going to have her second over. The score is 59 for 4 after 9 overs. Danny Gibson and Amanda Jade Wellington at the crease for Somerset. That'll be another dot ball. Another lovely cover drive. A slight misfield at cover allows the single. Well, I don't think Danny Gregory will appreciate that throw too much from Alice Capsey. Rifled in on the half volley. Ooh, appeal? No. Annie Gibson was in her crease. We've had a stump knocked out of the ground at the pavilion end now, though, so that's fine. We're one step closer to the full house.
Technicalities.
If anything, it's a really smart piece of work from Danny Gregory off her own bowling. Just a flick of the fingers. It's going to give her extra credit if the ball's going to miss the stumps and potentially go for 4. But I think he was going to cannon into those 3 sticks at the other end anyway. Down the ground again from Wellington. And lots of aggression on show from Somerset. Not much to show for it so far. 1 run scored off 4 deliveries in this over. Down the ground again. Fielder on the ring found again.
Really good dots here from Surrey. This is what Danny Gregory's so good at. Just squeezes batters, puts them under pressure. A deep backward point is coming up. Long off has gone out.
Oh. Edged behind, and this time it will get 4. Not in the intended direction, but it finds the intended result. That's a very fine over from Danny Gregory. 5 runs scored off it. The score is not 64 for 4. And here is the advert for finals day here in 2 weeks' time at the home of T20 cricket. Surrey already guaranteed that they will be there, but that 5-point win, that bonus point win today, will guarantee they will be in the final. If you come down in 2 weeks' time, you'll get 2 matches for your money. You'll get 2nd versus 3rd place in what is effectively the semi-final. And the winner of that semi-final will, in all likelihood, be taking on the home team, Surrey, to see who will win the first ever Women's Vitality Blast.
Yeah, what I was doing in the build-up to that was looking at when England's fixtures versus India are, because not only are you going to see fireworks, but it looks like you might see a good few England players back in their teams. Final game in the ODI series with England versus India is on the 22nd of July. Finals day being on the 27th, so...
Well, Alice Capsey is coming to the attack.
Excellent
First
hand.
ball. It's cut away, but a good bit of fielding in the covers prevents that going for 4 and saves 2. Oh, sorry, bowling changes are powered by SSE Energy Solutions. From the first ball to the final over, let's power change together.
So if you're excited by what this bowling lineup, or Surrey lineup, is offering today, there are about 5 or 6 more players to come back in and bolster it further.
Cut again, and more fantastic fielding. Surrey have been brilliant this afternoon, and Alice Monaghan has been spectacular on several occasions. First with bat in hand, now in the field. Have a look at this, sprawling over the practice wickets. It's not going to be sort of the comfiest of landings.
Yeah, when it's your day, isn't it, Cam?
Well, Monaghan, for her reward, is now gingerly running out to the boundary. This could be a very pleasant Sunday for the Surrey women's team. Get a win, be done by about 2 or 3. Reverse sweep, dot ball. Fielded less elegantly on this occasion by Danny Gregory.
The Surrey team have been so dynamic today and throwing themselves at everything that I think the Surrey physio is going to be plastering up a good few hip bones and elbows. There's going to be some raw burns on those. Ooh.
Excellent cricket shot. Wellington steps a long way outside her off stump, premeditates the sweep, and Capsey can do nothing but smile. Well, immediately prompts the field change. Capsey doesn't like it, so she shoves out square leg onto the boundary and brings up mid-off. Saying to Wellington, right, if you want to take a risk, I want you to hit it over Grace Harris at mid-off. Let's see if you can do that instead. Down the track. Wellington immediately looks to take on that option. It's chipped up towards long on. Emma Jones this time can't quite reel it in. That ball skipped off the surface a bit quicker than I think either Jones or I was expecting. So still a lush outfield here at the Kia Oval. Thought it might just hold up. The bounce deceived Jones. That's 4 runs and a second boundary of the over for Somerset.
Yeah, I think Emma Jones thought it might have held up as well, but she's hit it with some power. Hard and flat. Good effort by Emma Jones. I think she'll have been disappointed that she didn't save the boundary.
So 11 overs gone of Somerset's run chase. They are 75 for 4. They need 101 runs to win off 54 balls. Surrey will have 2 scores in mind. One, they'll be defending their total. They'll be defending their own 175, and they'll also be defending 140. Can they restrict Somerset to fewer than 65 runs in the final 9 overs? We'll have another bowling change powered by SSE Energy Solutions. Rhiannon McDonald-Gay is going to continue bowling fast from the pavilion end. All up in the air. Fielder getting underneath it. Moore takes the catch. She's such a safe pair of hands in the deep. She once again proves it. And Danny Gibson's return to the cricket pitch has to come to an end. She scores just 9 on this occasion. McDonald-Gay has a second wicket, and it is well deserved.
Well held by Callia Moore. She's had to come in a good 20 yards, maybe further, off the boundary. It's a spinning high catch. And she's taken it low around the shins on the move forward to dismiss Danny Gibson from the first ball of Rhiannon McDonald-Gay's 3rd over.
Well, that ball would have been swirling in the air because it's taken a leading edge from Gibson. And Moore sprints in. She holds on to it and just, for good measure, scrapes the knees a little bit. On those practice wickets. It's not a comfortable place to be, running in under a high ball across several wickets. You're mentally preparing for skinned elbows and skinned knees. Moore made it look very, very easy indeed. Griffiths, the new batter at the crease. Well, she needs to produce something special as Somerset are going to be in with a chance of winning this match. Short, that's quick. Well held by Chatley. A good surprise delivery from McDonald-Gay.
Yeah, welcome to the crease, Alex Griffiths. That's a very well executed bouncer by Rhiannon McDonald-Gay. The margin for error with these bouncers is so slim. Anything overhead height will be considered a no ball. So she's got between the shoulder and the head for it to be a legitimate delivery.
This time she goes full. Griffiths drives up towards cover and they get 1 run.
This Surrey team is so impressive for so many reasons. Bryony Smith can captain from backward point because she trusts her bowlers so much to set their own fields and execute their own plans. That really, her job in the middle is just maybe picking up a few angles or just asking a few questions and clarifying plans. It's a dream as a captain.
Quick again from McDonald-Gay. She has to do her own fielding on this occasion. Ball goes into that vacant mid-wicket area. With all those fielders on the leg side. In front of square, out on the boundary. There's a vast space to be targeted by the Somerset batters.
Another reason this Surrey team is so impressive is when you look around this team and you look at matches gone by and contributions that have been made. There's not a single player that hasn't contributed.
Oh, inside edge past the stumps, and that'll be 4 runs. Griffiths wouldn't know much about it. I should be pleased with the result. And McDonald-Gay's figures are going to look a bit bizarre at the end of this contest because she's going at about 10s. She's bowled wonderfully well.
That was taking the off stump if she missed it as well. The final one in the collection for the day. But again, this Surrey team, there's so much competition for spaces. There are 20 squad deep. that makes any sense. 20 players deep in their squad. Obviously only 11 match day places up for grabs. And every player that has come into this team has contributed either with wickets, with runs, by saving runs in the field. They're hungry to perform.
Just going to have a quick change from Surrey. It looks like Emma Jones is going off to get some treatment. We'll see if the replacement fielder comes on and who that is. We'll get to see a bit more of the strength and depth of Surrey, who have used 18 players across this competition. As Kirstie White said, those who have come in have really performed and played their own role as well. It's Priyan's Chatterjee, who's played just one game this competition. She bowled 2 overs and took 2 for 12. Contributions in all shapes and forms. Alexa Stonehouse is going to replace Alice Capsey. She's going to bowl her 4th and final over of this innings. No runs scored, just a block up to mid-off.
Yeah, Tilly Courtine-Coleman, the substitute fielder, on for Emma Jones, currently at short third with her signature tubey grip on the left arm.
Swing and a miss. Enjoyed that Courtine-Coleman. Wears the tubey grip, even when as a substitute fielder. Always be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting here with Alexa Stonehouse bowling her 4th and final over of her spell, and continuing from over the wicket.
Ooh, edged. That's somehow found the gap between backward point and short third. Griffiths is able to get back for a couple. She's moved on to 8. I think 7 of them haven't gone in the intended direction. No matter, she's still there.
All 4 of Alexa Stonehouse's overs have come from over the wicket, the left-hander.
That's a nice shot from Griffiths. Just forcing the ball off the back foot, up to long on for a single.
Yeah, it's not unusual to see outside of the power play the left arm seamers coming around the wicket for a change of angle and to bowl their change-ups, but bowling so well that not needed, just keeping that angle going across and cramping the batters for room.
Down the track this time, Wellington. No run scored.
This is a really, really good spell here from Stonehouse. No wickets picked up, but her economy currently is around 3.1.
Excellent maths on the fly here.
Oh, thank you.
Kirstie.
I'm not looking at the ECB app at all.
4 runs to ruin that particular stat. It's a wonderful shot from Wellington. That means Stonehouse will finish her 4 overs with none for 16, an economy rate of 4 exactly.
Quick maths.
I can do those ones, no worries. Just over pitched from Stonehouse. Frustrating end to what has otherwise been an excellent spell. She's put Surrey in a very strong position. It's 87 to win, still a 42 ball. So Somerset have just ticked over the halfway stage. The problem for them is they've also lost half their wickets and they're also only got 7 overs remaining to make up the rest. Phoebe Franklin's going to have another bowl. Another change of bowling powered by SSE Energy Solutions. Surrey have been sticking with seam a lot this innings. We've had Moore and Gregory bowling, and Capsey for that matter, but just the 5 overs of spin out of 13. We often see a bit more spin than that. That's bunted up to that deep extra cover position, which Franklin often bowls to.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Somerset go about these final 7 overs. They've won 1 game in the competition, so no chance of qualifying for final stay.
lifted. Is mid-off in the game? Yes! What a catch! Alice Capsey, that's sensational. She never looked near it until she dived, and she was. A fantastic catch, potentially the best of the season from the England international, and her teammates are getting around her, and rightly they should.
Who put 50p in Alice Capsey? Blimey, that is a catch. She's covered some ground too, and that's low, full stretch, one-handed to her right, strongest hand, but a lot has to happen prior to taking that catch.
Well, we've seen some Velcro hands here at the Oval over the last couple of days. Have a look at this from Alice Capsey.
Oh,
He'd lined that up so early. The ball had gone up and she was sprinting. You can just see she's kind of pushing her right hand out. And it drops into it perfectly. We had Amanda Jade Wellington in the first innings take an excellent course and bowl. 2 nights ago here at the Oval, Dan Douthwaite took a stunner for Glamorgan. But this from Capsey is as good, if not even better. And look at her teammates sprinting round to celebrate.
Oh, I know there's a new Superman movie coming out, but that was Superwoman. Wow, full stretch.
Such an important catch, and also the result of a lot of work that's been put in across the game this season. England women's team got a bit of a shoeing after the World Cup failures at the back end of last year. Fielded particularly poorly against the West Indies. So as a result, all those players have been putting kind of double time in with fielding practice to lift their levels. And so for Alice Capsey to not only be scoring the runs she has been this year, but to be taking catches like that is a great signal to powers that be. She's not just here with bat in hand, but she's here to offer with all 3 forms of the game. And there's another catch. Stonehouse again. She looks surprised again, I don't know why. It was straight in. Chloe Skelton cutting the ball from Franklin to backward point. And this is all of a sudden looking like it could be over in a hurry.
Yeah, I think that was just at Stonehouse. I don't think she knew too much about it. Straight in the hands. Well held. Those aren't easy catches at backward point. Comes off the bat so quickly. But this Surrey team have been incredible in the field today. And they're scoring runs with the bat and they're taking wickets with the ball. But the third element is the discipline in the field. And Surrey have looked a class of their own today. Every ball that has been bowled, they have been on it. Let's look at this catch again. Straight down the throat of Alexa Stonehouse. It's absolutely flown off the bat. And it just feels like where Surrey found gaps with the bat in the first innings, every time Somerset have found the fielder and they've been punished. Surrey have been clinical in the field today. All catches taken, diving stops, you've seen it all.
Well, they are surging towards that bonus point win that will secure their place in the final of finals day in 2 weeks' time. It's been a very fine season from Surrey so far. Top of the table. How's that? No.
Oh, that was a sneaky umpire move there, wasn't it? Just the hand out of the pocket to take the hat off the back, but excellent over there for Phoebe Franklin.
Well, 2 wickets in that Franklin over. 2 catches, 1 spectacular, 1 routine. Somerset are 90 for 7.
Going back to your point about the fielding as well, I feel like every time I open Instagram, I know I have the Vitality Blast come up and show me some incredible piece of fielding. Every single game, men's or women's, something outrageous is happening. And it feels like this year, more than any year, there's been a real elevation in the standard of fielding across both the men's and the women's games. The catches, the diving stops and the boundary have just been absolutely spectacular. The athleticism on show has been incredible.
Well, Surrey have been superb today in all those respects.
You know, and taking wickets and scoring boundaries provide entertainment. But these moments of athleticism really wow the crowd.
Eve down to long on. Again, more tidy work from McDonald Gay. Well, sorry, I guess have done, the phrase you used before is the non-negotiables. The two Stonehouse catches, those are the basics, the floor you're trying to uphold. Moore, who's bowling now, took a good sharp catch out in the deep. But you do see those go down on occasion, but no bother for Surrey. Another wicket taken, and they've not only done the basics, the goods, but they've done the spectacular as well. And that's lifted up towards McDonald Gay. Could it be another one? No. This time it just falls short.
Yeah, and those moments, the Callier Moore catch, for example, Surrey were always winning this game from the moment they took those 2 wickets in the power play and they started to kind of kill by increasing the run rate. That's really well played. Really well played by Griffiths.
As she hit the ball there, I reckon that's come off the bat about 3 times. And she's almost scooped it round.
The wrist dexterity there to actually get that angle is fantastic.
Let's have another look at this. This is remarkable from Griffiths. I think she's almost caught up with it. Almost scooped it off her bat where it starts at the top of her blade and she's kind of flung it round the corner.
Yeah, just going back to those catches. So that Callier Moore catch out on the boundary, the Alice Capsey catch, those they could have easily just refused. They said, no, I don't need to put my body on the line. I can just allow them to have one. But their standards are so high, they want to challenge themselves. They want to be the best. They want to entertain and put on a show and see what they're capable of.
Well, another good over for Surrey. It's 96 for 7. We can have a look at those catches that we have been talking about. Surrey have been excellent in the field across this innings, both taking wicket-taking opportunities and in their ground fielding. Here you'll see Moore coming under what was a high swirling ball, and then this was the star of the show. Alice Capsey, have a look at that. She enjoyed it, she loved it. And Alexa Stonehouse, well, Alexa Stonehouse doesn't look like she enjoys taking catches. She always looks terrified after they've stuck in her hands. I think it might be a little bit of a bit for her teammates. Well bowled by Danny Gregory. He's back into the attack, and well, I tell you what, Phoebe Franklin thought about having a shot at the stumps there because Griffiths was a long way out. Out. Another wicket for Danny Gregory, and another example of Surrey being sharp and on the spot in the field. Chatley with a simple stumping opportunity, but no fuss, no bother at the 8th wicket falls, and Surrey one step closer to securing their place in the Vitality Blast final.
Yeah, I always think a sign of a good day behind the stumps is if the commentary team or whoever's commenting on the game hasn't really had to mention the keeper whatsoever. And I think that's the first time we've spoken about Kira Chatley behind the stumps. 1, because she hasn't really had too much to do, but 2, because she's just been clinical. Nice, simple take and break for her there. Gets the job done. 2 wickets to seal the deal for Surrey into the final of the finals day. There we go.
Really good delivery from Danny Gregory. I think when bowling at the tail, there's an element of sometimes you forget and you think these wickets are cheaper, but she's got dip and drift on that ball. Some sharp turn as well. Robbins had no chance at all. I think if you're at this point, if you are a Surrey bowler, wanting to get in your captain's ear, there's 2 cheap wickets available. Boost those stumps, get those numbers up. Find yourself a bracket higher in the 100 draft next year. Olivia Barnes is in at number 10 for Somerset. Well, what's happened there then?
Not a lot, I don't think. I think it's missed everything, apart from maybe Olivia Barnes's pad. Not sure. Let's see. Bit of French cricket.
That was a drag down. It didn't turn, skidded on. This time it's 1 run into the leg side.
2 bowlers we haven't seen today, Cam. Your favourite, Grace Harris. And Bryony Smith hasn't bowled today.
Bryony Smith hasn't been bowling much of late. She had that injury earlier on in the season.
Yeah, she's bowled a bit in the last couple of games. She tends to bring herself into the attack when Surrey are under the pump, just to control the game, see if she can do it herself. I like it. Captain just absorbing some of the pressure.
It shows the luxury of options they have. Tilly Courtney and Coleman had absolutely sprinted off to her left there, trying to premeditate where Griffiths was going to play that shot. He almost got wrong-footed ever so slightly. But the fact that Smith hasn't bowled, the fact that Monaghan hasn't bowled, the fact that Grace Harris hasn't bowled, and yet Surrey have their opponents 97 for 8, having used 6 bowlers in the process. And they literally have the option. Everyone in this team can bowl. 16 overs gone. Scores 97 for 8. Surrey on the cusp of a 10th victory of the season. You're watching and listening to the Surrey live stream. I'm Cameron Ponsonby, joined by former Surrey player Kirstie White.
Monaghan not bowled today. Perhaps opting just to protect her off the back of the last game. She had a bit of a terror of a start with no balls in her first over and was no longer allowed to participate in the bowling attack. Alice Davison-Richards having to finish her over for her. She had a great day with the bat and certainly in the field, so not needed with the ball necessarily today.
You've alerted to this to me now, but Surrey literally have 10 bowling options in this team. They could do that thing you do in the under-12s where you're playing pairs cricket and you all just rotate round. You'll get 2 overs each.
Those were the days.
Should be quite I wish they'd done that from the beginning, to be honest, Surrey. Phoebe Franklin's going to have a bowl.
Maybe that's the one thing the 100 misses. Could be the next twist in the tail, because they were going to go for the double out. When the game, when the 100 first started, the double out was going to be on the cards. Now, I think what they should have done is what you're saying, is just the rotate round, everyone bowls.
You have to stand on your cone in the field. No field changes allowed.
No. When it was that, you know, when you first started playing cricket, where would you position yourself? Would you always run straight out and be the first to bowl, or would you put yourself in a position where you're on second? Or
I always went to point because I thought that good people fielded at point. I thought it was an early mental blow to the opponents to be like, I'll do this one, guys, don't worry about it.
I remember first learning all the positions. We had a little sheet, we had to remember all of the positions, and in our cricket club we used to call silly mid on, silly mid on, silly mid off, but they were Bill and Ben.
Oh, nice.
So I like to field either Bill or Ben.
Edged. That'll be 4 runs. We bring up the 3 figures for Somerset. It's a boundary for Barnes. Not where she wanted to hit it, but she'll take the runs, no bother. It's been a difficult outing for Somerset, who was so good in the first 10 overs of their innings. Well, there's now a mathematical drama about whether a bonus point win does indeed guarantee a spot for Surrey in the final. But I can tell you this much. If it is a bonus point win, there's no world it's bad news. And whether or not Surrey do finish atop the table, they will absolutely be here in 2 weeks' time, playing at the first T20 Blast Finals Day. Get a ticket, get on down here. It's been a fantastic competition this year. There's been so many tight, exciting matches with high-quality domestic and international players on show. And if Surrey continue the form they've been in, you'll be seeing the home team potentially lifting a trophy. That'll be 4 more. Well played by Griffiths. Making a bit of a stand here. She moves on to 19. Franklin goes for a second over. 9 runs off it for Somerset. They're 106 for 8.
I tell you what, if you're feeling particularly bougie for the Vitality Blast Finals Day, you can book yourself a bottomless brunch.
Oh, wow. Where?
In hospitality here.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a bit of you. Bit of cricket, bit of bottomless brunch.
We don't know if we're working it yet. What's happening, John? Not working it.
There we go.
Right. I'm going to go and sit in the stands and sip on a crisp beer after my bottomless brunch.
Isn't that the dream combination? Bottomless brunch, 3 games of cricket.
It's only 2.
2 games of cricket. Sorry, I was thinking of the traditional finals day.
Balls into the leg side. Danny Gregory to finish her 4 overs. It's just 1 run.
3 might be a bit much.
3's a finals day. Men's finals day. It's a long day.
It starts at about 10, doesn't it? Start at about 10, half 10, finishes about 10, half 10.
State people are in by the end of it.
Yeah.
Remarkable. Out. 3rd wicket of the day for Danny Gregory. She's bowled ever so well. She's cleaning up some lower order wickets here. And another bowled from the pavilion end. And Somerset are 9 down. Surrey are 1 wicket away from maybe potentially guaranteeing a top place finish in the group stages. But either way, they'll be ever so pleased with their showing today. Alice Monaghan with the bat made her first ever professional 50 and her first for Surrey. And then with the ball, they've been clinical, and with the field, they've been perfect.
Yeah, Danny Gregory in her 4th over, conceding just 13 runs from it so far. She's been bang on the money and continues to be just attacking those stumps. Double fist pump. She's having a good day. She looks like she's enjoying herself.
So, Gregory with a chance to finish with 4 for here. Wickets, the Croatian international, in at number 11. She's got 4 balls to navigate from Danny Gregory. Well, 1 will do it. And that's your lot from Surrey. A professional performance, a bonus point win. 5 more points to their tally in the table. It's been professional, it's been resounding, it's been a bit of a thumping from Surrey. Gregory finishes with 4 for 13. All in all, perfect performance from the home team.
Yeah, I think they've delivered a clinic today in batting, in bowling and in fielding. And it's not been that often this season that they've delivered that full performance. Certainly in the last few games it's all been piecing together, but today I think it's probably the performance of the season for them. Big partnership from Emma Jones and Alice Monaghan for 84, set up the middle phase and put a pretty daunting total on the board for Somerset to come out and chase. And from ball 1, Surrey have been on the money, targeting the stumps, taking their catches, preventing boundaries and ones and putting their bodies on the line. And bowling out Somerset for 107 to pick up the win with the bonus point. Danny Gregory finishing her 3.3 overs with 4 for 13.
Well, it'll be a real confidence boost for Danny Gregory. He's bowled well across this season, but having some spectacular figures to show for your efforts is always going to lift the spirits. I don't know if we'll see a replay of her final wicket. That was Griffiths, but she bowled quickly, she bowled at the stumps. I'll tell you what, if you are tuning in for the first match of today and you're waiting for the men's fixture against Somerset to come, I think it'll be well worth watching, because Adam Zampa, one of the best leg spinners in the world, is going to have a field day on what's a used wicket and what's been seeing a lot of turn in this Surrey versus Somerset match. I think we'll go through the cards before, potentially, hopefully, we'll find out from it.
One thing to remember as well here is Danny Gregory's just taken 2 wickets in 2 balls, so when she starts her first over of the next game that Surrey plays, she will be on a hat-trick.
It doesn't work like that.
It counts. And I'm not even a bowler, but it counts. Get everyone in. Let's go through the cards, Cam.
Kirstie White making up the rules as she goes. Here is the Somerset card, and well, high score of 21 from Amanda Jade Wellington, but unfortunately no one for the visiting side was able to get in. Bex Odgers at the top of the order. She only made 10, but I tell you what, it was one of the most aesthetically pleasing 10s I'd ever like to see. And when she went, it felt like in that moment, Somerset's charges went as well. The bowling figures, well, Danny Gregory was the star of the show in the end. Her 4 for 13 really stands out. An economy rate of 3.71, but all of Surrey's bowlers were phenomenal. Alexa Stonehouse, economical, only going at 4 runs and over, and all of it was there. Surrey win by 68 runs, but we have an interview with star of the show, Danny Gregory. She's speaking to Sam Keir right now.
Well, a comprehensive win for Surrey in the first of our 2 matches today. And of course, that win put Surrey within 1 point of going straight into the final on finals day right here at the Kia Oval. Someone who has made that dream so close to a reality is with me now. That is Danny Gregory, fresh from her 4 for 13. Danny, a great win and things looking pretty good heading towards that finals day.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we've gone pretty well in this T20 comp, so hopefully we can find that 1 point in the next game up at Durham, and head straight through to that final.
Your own performance, obviously great to clear up at the end, but also super economical. It's been kind of a story for you throughout the second half of this tournament, where things have you've really hit your straps.
Yeah, I can't say I started my best here. Been a bit better away from home, but finally found some rhythm the last few games and managed to bring it here for the supporters today.
Let's talk about Alice's innings early on. Obviously, she'd been out for a while with injury, came back at Trent Bridge where things didn't go to plan. To come here and play that innings today shows real strength of character and what a quality cricketer she is.
Yeah, for sure. She's pretty exceptional with the bat. Can obviously hit a very long ball. Like you say, things didn't quite go to plan at Trent Bridge for her, but it's great to see her be able to turn it around within a matter of days and go and do what we know she's capable of out there.
Obviously, couple more games to go, but those will be really important even though we're in finals day. We want to obviously get that straight into the final, but it's about momentum, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely no complacency from us. We'll take the wins that we've had on the road and the win here today and take it up to Durham and hopefully continue that form and, like I say, head straight through to that final.
Well, you've kicked things off brilliantly here on our double header. Thanks so much for your time, Danny.
Thank you very much.
Danny Gregory there speaking after Surrey wrapped up a comprehensive 68-run win here at the Kia Oval. The match summary in front of you there. Alice Monaghan to start with the bat. She made 57 not out off 32, ably assisted by Emma Jones, who made 34. And then bowling innings, well, it was 1 wicket after another for Surrey. Danny Gregory again, 4 for 13, the pick of the bunch. This has been the first of today's doubleheader here at the Kia Oval. The Surrey men will be taking on Somerset in due course, so make sure you join us in just an hour or so's time when we'll be back with live coverage of that match. I've been Cameron Ponsonby. Thank you also to Kirstie White and all the production team here for covering the first of this doubleheader here in South London. But until then, well, until about an hour's time, we'll see you then.